All right, hopefully we're back on. Are we back on, engineer, for Christ's sake? All right, I hope we're back on. My apologies for this. Once again, let's just take it back from the top, all right, everybody? My apologies. If you're listening to this live or in the archive, my apologies. We're just going to, we independent now. Sometimes we're going to have things like this happen. Anyway, thank you very much for tuning in with me. I am your host, the man they call Ghost. And once again, I want to thank you very much for tuning in with me. This is episode number 580. Once again, folks, 580 is the episode number, for Christ's sake. It is June 14th, 2018. And before we get into anything else, once again, happy Baller Friday for all the folks that are listening in and are chilling with me on this Baller Friday. My apologies on the technical difficulties that were happening in the beginning of the broadcast. Hopefully everybody can hear me at this point. But we're going to continue going, folks. Before we get started, I'd like to ask everybody to please spread this show link around like wildfire and let everybody know that True Capitalist Radio is in effect and in the house. And we are live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And like I said, baby, we independent now. You type in your browser ghost.report. All right? That's as simple as that. Ghost.report is what you type in your browser. Add to your favorites, add to your bookmarks. That is the official home of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. You can get all the archived new episodes there. You can also get the live stream. There's always a live stream going on, even though we're not doing it live during the traditional Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time slot. We will always be live streaming the previous show, so you got a whole bunch of ways to listen. Now that we've gotten all the technical difficulties out of the way, I want to go ahead and lead in with something very, just right off the bat. So before I do this, let me go ahead and celebrate Happy Baller Friday and say cheers to everybody. You know what time it is, right? You already know it's Baller Friday. I'm having a good time. You know what time it is, right? More beer! I mean, hey, it's Friday, man. It's Baller Friday. And for you folks that are just tuning in, and for you folks that are asking yourself, what the hell is this Baller Friday that Ghost is talking about? It is the day of the week that every capitalist basks on their week's wages, basks on their week's success, basks on their week's financial gain, everything. You're a capitalist, baby. I mean, sometimes you got to kind of kick back and bask in your own success, what you've manifested into reality, what it is that's your life. You got to celebrate it. So with that being said, let's go ahead and crack open the first beer. And while I'm cracking open this beer, folks, follow me on the last bastion of freedom of speech on social media today, and I'm talking about Gab, all right? And you can get there by typing in your browser gab.ai, and when you do, you can follow me on there under the name Politics Ghost, all right? All one word, no underscores. Politics Ghost is the name to follow, and if you don't have a Gab account, then what the hell are you doing, all right? Seriously, what are you doing? It's the last bastion of freedom of speech, for Christ's sake. And before I get into anything else, I want to say what's going on to the True Capitalist Radio chat room. I see you, baby. What's going on? How y'all doing? Of course, we've been discussing a lot of things. I was in there last evening until about 2:30 in the morning, 3:30 in the morning, something like that. We've been doing all kinds of internet tomfoolery, discussions about crypto, capitalism, politics. You know how it is. If you want to get in with us, all right? Now, listen. Now that I've dropped the old traditional radio graffiti and shout-outs, a lot of the folks that are not about anything but being a cartoon-watching piece of gaming, playing, man-child, living with mommy trash has pretty much eliminated itself from the True Capitalist Radio chat room. So if you want to take part in the True Capitalist Radio chat room, I'm going to be in there later on this evening. go ahead and go to my Gab account right now, Politics Ghost, all one word, no underscores, and hit the subscribe button for premium content. All right, it's as simple as that. Hit the subscribe button for premium content, and once you do, go ahead and give me a Gab private message. And once you do, let me know your Discord chat name in that Gab private message, and I'll be more than happy to give you your private invitation to the True Capitalist Radio chat room. Anyway, I want to say cheers to the True Capitalist Radio chat room, baby. Been doing all kinds of stuff. Been doing all kinds of discussions, all kinds of internet tomfoolery, investigative work, all kinds of stuff. So let me go ahead and pour in this beer here. And, of course, the inner circle, you know what it is, man. Most of the inner circle is already in the True Capitalist Radio chat room anyway, baby. But it goes without saying, the inner circle in the house, too. But I want to say cheers, first and foremost, to each and every one of you that are listening to me now, that I am no longer being entertainment for tards, okay? So thank you guys for being mature enough to understand that we're living in a serious world, in a serious day and age, and we as Americans have to literally take notice of the fact that this country is ran for the people and by the people. And it is the only country in the world in which it actually does what it says it does. And for those that don't believe me, take a look at the election of Donald Trump. As I've said time and time again, if this government wasn't made for the people and by the people, they would have pulled the wool over our eyes. They would have put in Hillary Rotten Clinton, and we would have just accepted whatever the hell this government was going to throw in front of us. But you see, folks, the government had to crack. The government had to crack because there were so many of us in numbers that went out overwhelmingly in support of this current president, now President Trump. And they seriously could not pull the wool over our eyes and try to pretend that Hillary Clinton won the election in 2016. This is why this whole bureaucratic conspiracy theory from the Department of Justice and the FBI, which we're going to talk about here in a minute, had to be put in play by these idiots. They had to make some kind of legalese way to justify removing a duly elected president. That's what this whole goddamn conspiracy is about. Spygate, the Russian dossier, all this. That's what it's all about. Now, before I get off on any kind of a tirade, I want to say cheers, like I said again, to the True Capitalist Radio chat room. Cheers to the Capitalist Army. Cheers to everyone out there who's listening to the broadcast and is listening to it for the content and not because you think I'm entertainment for tards and autists and Asperger's and all that other nonsense. Anyway, cheers, baby. And, oh, yeah, don't forget the modern-day American George Washington, the president. This man who is risking his life, his family, his fortune, just so that he can bring back America and make America great again. Bring back America to the power of the people. I want to talk about my president, President Donald Trump. Cheers to that man as well. Let's go ahead and chug some of this beer here. That is good. That is pretty goddamn good. Oh, man. Anyway, with that being said, folks, I would like for everybody out there who's listening, I'm going to go into a soliloquy here in about a minute and a half, 2 minutes. I would like each and every one of you to try to tweet or Facebook or Gab or whatever social media that you have at all these people that identify as white nationalist or alt-right. And tell them to listen into this broadcast because this next soliloquy is directed towards these pieces of trash. And look, I know I've said a lot about these people, but I want everybody to understand that the capitalist right, the capitalists, have no goddamn affiliation with these Nazi LARPing pieces of goddamn finger banging on the goddamn keyboard trash. All right? We have nothing to do with these idiots. All right, now, like I said, let me drink my beer, all right, on this Baller Friday before I start going off on the white trash nationalist and the so-called autistic right. Go out there. Go tell them. Go tell them right now. I'll give you 2 minutes. Go tell these white nationalists and these alt-righters, go to those goddamn social media sites and tell them to come on this goddamn stream right now so I can give them a dose of truth. So I can give them a dose of goddamn truth right to their Nazi LARPing asses. Now let me go ahead and take a chug of this beer here. Good stuff. Now, unfortunately, I tried with the, taking out of radio graffiti and the taking out of shout-outs. I tried to bring in a more non-autistic demographic in listening to this broadcast, and I hope that, you hope a lot of things, right? Anyway, I was doing what I usually do last night and posted a video of one Donald Trump Jr., this was 21 hours ago on Gab in the Inspector General report topic. And I basically gabbed Donald Trump Jr., quote, real America knows what's going on. That's what Donald Trump Jr. said. I mean, aside from all this bureaucratic hoopla and all this fake news, Donald Trump Jr. made the comment on Fox News that real America knows what's going on. You're damn right we know what's going on. And then I went on in that gab to say he's right. The left has a, quote, above-the-law carte blanche to do whatever it wants. This shows that the highest echelon of the Department of Justice and the FBI needs to be thrown in jail for a treasonous breach of justice. Hashtag MAGA, hashtag ghost. And then I get this reply from this autistic right, white nationalist, four-eyed, feminist, Nazi LARPing bimbo. And she goes by the name of, or this is what her actual @ symbol is on Gab. Her @ symbol is Traditional LMA. This is that's the account that replied. All right, she goes, I guess, by Traditional Liz. I guess that's her name, Traditional Liz. But her actual @ symbol, her profile, her @ profile is Traditional LMA. Okay? Now, she responded to that gab that I had just talked about with Donald Trump Jr., and she replied with the following. When will Trump supporters who don't name the Jew realize they are to the left? And I said, are you kidding me? I mean, are you? Here we go. I automatically already knew that this was a goddamn white nationalist, autistic, alt-right broad. So I wasn't going to let this one go. I had to respond, and I responded accordingly because I'm sick of these Nazi LARPing, alt-right, white nationalist fucking internet people, man. I mean, they're all a bunch of finger-banging bunch of losers that aren't accomplishing a goddamn thing. They're not accomplishing a goddamn thing. So I responded to Traditional LMA with, when will you white nationalists just admit that you hate Jews because they are much more loyal to each other than any white nationalist attempt at unification? Instead of blaming the Jew like black folks blame Whitey, how about emulating what the Jew does to become such an international force, instead of Nazi LARPing on the internet like some autistic faggot? Hashtag ghost, okay? Of course, she responds, instead of, basically talking about her little Nazi LARPing perspective and her criticisms of what most of these fucking alt-right white nationalists call capitalism. They call it old Jew capitalism. It's my Jew, my Jew, my Jew. So anyway, you all heard what I said. I ended with autistic faggot in that last post, and this is all on Gab if you want to go take a look at it for yourself. Politics Ghost is my Gab account. Then she replies, I am autistic. I have Asperger's. It's a proven sign of high IQ, actually.
something you wouldn't know because you clearly don't know how to research and see the facts that Jews do rule over us. They proudly voice their rule on Wikipedia, faggot. Now go drool somewhere else, retard. And man, right when she admitted that she was a goddamn autist, I had to gab. I said, another autist! Story of my internet fucking life! And then I had to laugh. I put a lulz on there, L-U-L-Z, hashtag ghost, all right? And then she replies, because, you know, she's one of these Nazi LARPers. You know, this is what they do. This is all the alt-right white nationalists do. They're just a bunch of fucking internet Nazi LARPing pieces of nothing, okay? She comments back, good goyim, your masters are so proud of you. Sit and stay. And I have to, I don't know, maybe I was a little inebriated last night to respond to this, but I had to bring back the Asperger's thing. I'm sorry. I mean, what is it about these people? I'm sorry. What is it about these people that make, like, I'm a magnet for autists? I mean, I'm a magnet for autists, for Christ's sake, man. Anyway, I had to respond to her, and I responded to her like this. Now, does everyone understand why autists and Asperger tards need to be on a public list similar to a sex offender? These people are truly a burden on society and are becoming a public danger now that their meltdowns have turned into mass shootings as of late. Beware of coddling these wastes of human life. They are worthless and dangerous, just saying. Hashtag ghost, all right? Now, what did she reply with? This is alt-right white nationalism right here, okay? Admitted she was an autist. Admitted she's, let me just continue before I, here it is. Listen to this. Traditional LMA. What is really sad is that you take the opportunity to degrade and put down a woman who's actually scientifically proven smarter than you. I would school you in a debate. All you have is insults. You have nothing but insults towards me. You are either a Jew or you have a really low IQ. Go ahead, though. Make a post further insulting me. That's what you do best. Just like a liberal. Just like a liberal. Jesus Christ. I mean, do you understand what I'm saying? And did you hear her in that statement? I mean, obviously, I have literally put her, making her look lower than a leprechaun's nutsack as it pertains to her little white nationalism, and embarrassing her a little bit now that she thought she was going to be a proud autist, and I think that autists are, with all due respect, a waste of life. So I had to respond to this. I had to respond to that stupid comment. I said, wait a minute. This autistic, Nazi LARPing, white nationalist woman is playing the feminist card now? Because that's what she was doing. I mean, do you understand these Nazi LARPing, alt-right, white nationalist idiots? They're just as ridiculous and just as lunatic as the left. They're just as hypocritical, just as contradictory. And I'm sick of these people. I'm sick of the alt-right and the white nationalists being affiliated with us. Us that are pro-Trump. Us that are pro-capitalist. These people, if you want my opinion, want the same thing as Antifa. I wouldn't be surprised if they're co-opted to act a fool like this. They want socialism. Each and every one of these stupid, dumb, white nationalist, alt-right assholes, what do they want? They want national socialism. That's what I want, dude. I want national socialism. Oh, Jesus Christ. National socialism. And then when you try to confront these alt-right white nationalist idiots and say, listen, you want the same fucking thing as Antifa, so why exactly are you all fighting? And you know what they come up with? They come up with this new vernacular, a new vocabulary to describe something to deflect from their contradictions. And what do they do when you point out the fact that you fucking dumb, stupid, dumb, white trailer trash nationalist, and you fucking autistic right want the same thing as Antifa, what do you come up with? My horseshoe theory. My horseshoe theory. My horseshoe theory. Take that fucking horseshoe and shove it up your fucking white trash ass. You people on the alt-right, you people in the fucking white nationalist movement are doing nothing but tainting us that are legitimate American people that don't want to act a fucking fool like you stupid jerk-offs. You make us look like the left should be looking. You give fodder to these goddamn liberals, for Christ's sake. And that's why I'm trying to vocally say to everybody now, us capitalists, us on the capitalist right, we have nothing to do with the fucking white nationalist or the alt-right, all right? These people are Nazi LARPing jokes, all right? It's all there is, Nazi LARPing jokes. And whenever you put them in a debating corner, they'll either they have like these like key words, just like a fucking leftist, huh? Oh, I'm a Jew. You're a Jew capitalist, Jew this, and I'm a loser because of the Jew, and the Jew this, and the Jew that. And if it isn't that, when you put them in a corner, what else do they call you? They call you a boomer now. Oh, you stupid, dumb boomer. You're a stupid boomer, and we're going to give you the day of the pillow. Have you heard about this fucking shit? I'm not even kidding around. This is another terminology that they've concocted in their stupid little goddamn pissing ground of a fucking internet community amongst the alt-right trash and the white nationalists. They have, this is what, I'm not kidding. I am not kidding when I say this. They have a plan that one day they're going to call for the, quote, day of the pillow, in which they are going to encourage their autistic right and their white trailer trash nationalists to literally take a pillow and put it over the faces of their baby boomer parents so they could steal their wealth. Yeah. I mean, that's fucking communism. That's socialism. You fucking losers, man. You people are white trash. You fucking alt-right people are white trash, for Christ's sake, with your handout. I mean, let's talk about what the fuck National Socialism is, okay? Because every time you confront these alt-right white nationalists with the fact that they want socialism, they'll sit there and try to tell you, well, you don't understand. National Socialism has nothing to do with actual socialism. Now, how the fuck do you stupid fucking white trailer trash think? How do you fucking come up with that? Let me tell you what National Socialism is to these fucking idiots that are out here tainting us on the right. White nationalism, this National Socialism. National Socialism means that the government deserves to pay them money because they're white. That's what fucking National Socialism is. That the government needs to pay these fucking pieces of white trailer trash and autistic right. We have to pay them money. We have to pay them money because they're white. Now, doesn't that remind you a lot of a group of people that are wanting reparations for my slavery? My slavery! I mean, this is how contradictory these fucking dumb white nationalists, these fucking goddamn alt-righters are, man. How can you sit there, white nationalists and alt-righters, and degrade black folk and call them pieces of whatever? You know all the degrading terms. You know what you call them, and yet you're doing the exact same shit. I mean, the whole context for what you are representing is the exact same shit that the black folks are doing. They have their hand out, and why do the black folks want to get paid? They want to get paid because they're black. They want to get paid because they're black. And 5 generations ago, maybe they have some kind of lineage to some slavery or some garbage. That's the exact same garbage of National Socialism, you stupid morons. You white folks are having your hand out wanting National Socialism because you want a government authority, a centralized government authority, to pay you because you're fucking white. I mean, this is the most ridiculous paradigm that we have found ourselves in modern-day American politics. Now, I am not negating the fact that we have liberals race-baiting and galvanizing ethnic minority groups and utilizing their influences in media and Hollywood and in other such methods of communication into galvanizing ethnic minorities to hate white people and to have this culture of anti-white agenda. I am not negating that the liberals are doing that. I'm not negating the fact that white seems to be a bad word in modern-day America. But you're not going to accomplish anything, you fucking dumb Nazi LARPing pieces of fucking ignorant trash, by going out and throwing up fucking swastikas and calling every problem that happens in your life the Jews' fault or the boomers' fault. What you have to do, you dumb fucking white nationalists and you alt-right trash, if you are sincere about preserving the white race, instead of fucking wasting your time online and being a Nazi LARPing piece of autistic shit, which many of you, let's be honest, many of the most vocal white nationalists and the most vocal alt-rights, well, they're in their 30s. I mean, hell, Cantwell is in his 40s. And guess what? They have no white children, and no white woman wants to be with them. Now, going back to this one skankosaurus over here that I was arguing with that claimed that the Jew and my Jew and I'm autistic and I'm an autistic feminist Nazi and all this shit. I'm talking about traditional LMA, okay? This is exactly what I'm talking about. This woman, she admitted, look, she was talking with people in the posts, and somebody asked her, too, do you have children, or do you have a white husband? And she's like, no, I haven't had one. And they asked her, well, are you in your 30s? Yeah, I'm in my 30s, but I'll find the right man. And obviously this is somebody who understands where I'm coming from, because they were like, well, then what are you doing on here? Why don't you go out and make children if you're really concerned about the, quote, Jewish question, if you're, quote, concerned about preserving the white race? I mean, I don't ever hear anybody, any of you fucking white nationalists and alt-right mouthpieces, I don't ever hear any of you practicing that or doing that. Because don't you think that you would want to make as many white children as possible? I mean, wouldn't that be the modus operandi, instead of wasting your fucking life on the internet saying, my Jew, 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 my Jew? I mean, seriously, folks, and not to mention, okay, let's say that for whatever reason the social construct of America is fucked up because my Jew, that they're going to blame the Jew, so you got to blame, my Jew. So let's say the social construct of society is fucked up because my Jew. Well, then, why don't you go and instead of just wasting your time galvanizing a bunch of pieces of white trailer trash so that you can get tiki torches and say, my Jew, my Jew, why don't you promote that you want each and every one of these white men to be men and to be engineers and to be doctors and to be lawyers and to be politicians and influential people, so that your little my Jew and all this bullshit actually has some kind of political fucking clout in the institutions in which you claim that you hate so much. None of you are doing jack shit. I mean, take a look at one of the leaders of the alt-right movement, a fucking 40-year-old nothing in, Richard Spencer. This fucking Richard Spencer idiot, he is proud that he's wearing the Hitler Youth haircut, and the guy is 40 years old. He's done absolutely nothing with his life, never accomplished anything. He came from an affluent family, right? So why bother? I mean, I can just go out and just agitate. I went to school for most of my life, so because I was in school and I know all these ridiculous works that are meaningless, I can just go out and agitate a bunch of idiot people. That's my life. That's fucking Richard Spencer right there, man. And by the way, this guy is fruitier than a box of Fruit Loops. Okay? I mean, do I hear him saying that you need to go out and you need to have white children, and you need to, you don't hear him say anything like that. You know what you hear him saying? You hear him saying abstract, ambiguous bullshit. Just like little key words, like my Jew, my Jew, my Jew, my Jew, my Jew. I mean, that's all you hear from that asshole. The leadership of the alt-right white nationalist movement is a representation of the people that follow it. They're white pieces of trailer park trash that are no different than the people who follow Black Lives Matter. These people are disenchanted. They have made bad decisions in their lives. They obviously have nothing going for themselves. So what do? They find unity in some bullshit on the internet. Because if they were truly concerned about the white plight, then they would be encouraging what I just encouraged, or what I just said before, go out and have children, go out and become engineers, go out and become politicians, lawyers, doctors, go out and become an inventor. I mean, we need the best of the best in the white race. But no. All you hear is bitching and moaning from these fucking alt-right white nationalist idiots. No different from the left. Isn't that all we hear from Antifa and Black Lives Matter? Bitch and moan, bitch and moan. That's all we ever fucking hear from the left. They don't have any solutions. They can gather a big crowd to piss and moan all day, but they don't have any goddamn solutions whatsoever. And that's exactly what the alt-right is. And if you want my opinion, the alt-right and the white nationalists, if you want my view, I think they're not even real right-wing people. I think they're operatives of the left. I mean, if you take a look at many of these so-called leaders of the white nationalist movement out here, they used to all be leftists. They used to all be hardcore multiculturalist leftists. Now, what happened? Like Andrew Anglin, this guy was a vegan, multicultural leftist. Now, how in the hell did you go from that to, oh, man, my Jew, white power? I mean, what happened? Huh? You tried to be down with the brothers, they beat your fucking ass, left you, on a tree in a wedgie? I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, just because you made the bad decision and you thought that the brothers were going to hang out with you doesn't... I mean, I'm just saying, man. I mean, I'm sick and tired of people that are leaders of these movements, and they're just complete contradictions. I mean, I'm not just picking on the alt-right white nationalists. I mean, take a look at the fucking Black Lives Matter. D. Ray McKesson, Mr. Power Bottom over here, Mr. AIDS HIV activist. And as I've always stated, folks, that Black Lives Matter, it's just a front to try to get black people homosexual. Hence why they have D. Ray McKesson as the leader of Black Lives Matter. So, in essence, folks, I don't want to go on and on about this. I don't want to. If you want to look at the exchange I had with this stupid broad on Gab, go to my Gab account at Politics Ghost, all one word, no underscores. But I am done with this whole conversation with alt-right white nationalists. You people are trash. You people are you give the fucking left fodder. You give them fodder, for Christ's sake, man. Jesus Christ. And I want everyone out there to know that those of us on the capitalist right, those of us that are down with Donald Trump, we are not affiliated with these ridiculous pieces of white trailer trash nationalists and autistic writers. We are not, okay? So with that being said, look, I'm done with talking about that subject matter, okay? I don't want to talk about it anymore. There's more important things to discuss. But I just want to remind everybody that capitalism is not down with this stupid ridiculousness that is another way to socialism, for Christ's sake. Anyway, I'm going to be very brief in the crypto markets. We all know everything's in the red. We saw a minor uptick in the past couple of days, but that uptick has been contracted since. And once again, it has a lot to do with the American dollar, man. I mean, as I stated on Wednesday, the Federal Reserve raised interest rates and hinted to the fact that they're going to raise interest rates several times in fiscal year 2018. And what have I always said, folks? I mean, since our crypto is paired with the U.S. dollar, the higher value of the U.S. dollar, the lower the value of crypto is going to be. Now that we're kind of heading into this environment, folks, where, at least for the meantime, at least for the next 2 to 3 quarters of business, we're going to see this correlation with the increased value of the dollar and the decreased value of crypto. Now, you are going to still see increases. You are going to still see these big-time bumps in sporadic cryptos. And the reason is, folks, is because now that we're in this type of market where the dollar's king and the dollar's going to keep these damn crypto prices low, the market is going to react to news. All right? And what does that mean? That means if there's any news of any crypto, it's going to be acted upon. So that's why you have to keep your ears glued to the ground out here, or the digital ground, I should say, in the cryptocurrency world, because that's what's going to make the big moves here in the next few months. News is going to make it. Now, when we're in this type of environment, there's an old adage. You want to buy on hype and sell on the news. All right? And Polak, what's going on, man? They're the ones that hooked me up with that quote. Inner Circle, by the way. But I think that's entirely accurate. I think that we're in the investment environment right now in cryptocurrency where you want to buy on hype and sell on news. That's why I always try to keep everybody up to date with what cryptocurrencies are potentially going to be with who, or there's going to be a potential partnership, or if there's going to be some enhancement in the technology. I mean, you have to be in every nook and cranny of the internet, man, to try to find out this information. So that's what we're going to be looking for from now on until we start seeing a tremendous decrease in the U.S. dollar, because if the U.S. dollar decreases dramatically, you're just going to see the prices of crypto explode. And I'm not saying that the possibility of the dollar crashing is not out of the question. I mean, lest we forget, we're delving into a lot of realms of economic international business activity that we're not used to here in this century. Tariffs, competition with other countries as it pertains to their natural resources and their productivity, their products, etc. I mean, this could potentially cause a little bit of instability in the U.S. dollar. When will that happen? Well, that could remain to be seen. I mean, God forbid this, but let's say something happened like 9/11 on American soil. Well, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, everything is going to go down. And because there was no cryptocurrency at that particular time, I think events like that would cause cryptocurrency to go up to points where we couldn't even imagine, because we're going to have a lot of people trying to take their assets out of a situation. Because I don't know if y'all remember 9/11, 2001. I mean, when those terrorist attacks, or so-called terrorist attacks, I mean, if you want to believe the official narrative, but let's not go into that debate. But once it happened, folks, the stock market was going down so fast that they had to pull the plug on the stock market, and it closed for like 4 trading days or 5 trading days. So, I mean, everything's going down. The U.S. dollar went down at that point, and you're going to see it reflected now that we have a cryptocurrency market. Now you're going to see it reflected if something like that happens. So, once again, everybody that listens to this broadcast, you're way ahead of the game as far as cryptocurrency investing is concerned, because I don't ever hear anybody correlating the dollar's value increase and the lowering of this market. I mean, it's right there in front of your face. If you take a look at the charts, take a look at a dollar spot index chart and compare it to any one of your major cryptos, you can see whenever the dollar goes down in value, the damn crypto goes up. I mean, it's as simple as that, man. Now, with that being said, the dollar is still fucking king today. I mean, and look, that puts a little bit of apprehension in my voice, because, man, I don't want the dollar that valuable, because now that we have a lot of people working again, the dollar is now being dispensed in a variety of different capacities in the private sector, whether it's jobs, whether it's investment into expansion, capital goods, etc. We want the continued exchange of that dollar. And when we have a dollar that continues to grow value, people are not going to spend the dollar. So that's what makes me so apprehensive about seeing this dollar with such value. I mean, that's what concerns me. But we shall see. We shall see what happens. The future belongs to no one, even though the Federal Reserve thinks that, the economy's so good at this point that they're going to continue to raise interest rates even after Wednesday several times. So, look, I'm not going to bore everybody with all the prices of crypto. I'm just going to let everybody know right now the market capitalization of cryptocurrency right now. The market capitalization of the entire market. $277 billion market capitalization. I mean, that's pretty low. That's pretty damn low. And as I stated, folks, do not sell because you're panicking because you may have purchased at a higher price than something else. You're going to lose in the end. First of all, you're going to lose for selling. And secondly, you're going to lose coin, even if you gain it on the USD end. And for those of you that are still been on the sidelines for cryptocurrency, by God, buy some cryptocurrency for heaven's sake. All right? I mean, right now is the time. I mean, you're not going to see these markets this low for too much longer. I mean, and not to mention, how high can this value of the dollar go as well? I mean, I don't think that we're going to continue to see a high value in the dollar for an indefinite amount of time. I think it's going to happen right before our very eyes. I mean, one day we're going to see the dollar just kind of drop in like 2-3% in one day, and then the gradual minus 0.10% one day, minus 0.25% the next day, etc. So, man, we're pretty low right now, but if you have any liquidity, I could certainly consider going in on many of the mainstream coins. Many of the mainstream coins right now are very low, and I would strongly advise people to check it out. Now, one coin I am going to talk about, folks, is 42 coin, because, of course, that's the Inner Circles coin. And not to mention, we got an inside track with the 42 coin folks, so we know the creators, we know the big time investors, and we see nothing but plus side on this one. And the reason I'm bringing this up, folks, is because 42 coin folks just put out another wallet. So, all you folks that want to purchase 42 coin and not leave it on the exchange, you can go ahead and download the new wallet. It's actually pretty good. I have all my 42 coin holdings in that particular wallet. And like I said, most of the Inner Circle also has their 42 coin in their 42 coin wallet. And, based upon all of us in the Inner Circle, we probably have 5, maybe 6, but 5 coins of the entire 42 coins. So, we're in it for the long term. I like this coin, and watch, folks. Watch what happens when this coin is put on a high volume exchange. It's just going to go all the way up. Anyway, I'm not going to spend any more time on crypto. If you have any questions, anybody in the chat room on crypto, you may go ahead and post them here. All right, I'm watching the chat room. But we're going to go ahead and go on to stocks here real quick. And we're going to talk about why stocks were down today. I think it's more than obvious that the reason stocks are down today is because the Wall Street community does not like this tariff stuff that the president is putting forth. And I want to be honest with you, I love it. I mean, we are in the winning position in this fucking poker game of tariffs. I mean, I don't understand where these countries think that they're gonna hurt us. I mean, we're the ones spending all the money. They have surpluses on us, and they've had surpluses on us for like 30 years. All right? Now that we're like, all right, that's enough, man. We don't, listen, the president is not asking for like even keel trade. He's not saying that, the 170 billion that we have in an annual trade deficit with the EU, he's not asking to kind of recoup all the 170 billion, but hey, EU, I mean, you could take off a $50 billion, you could take off a $40 billion off of that annual trade deficit. I mean, you're bitching and moaning about how the United States is putting on tariffs. We've only put on tariffs, well, up until this point, we've only put on tariffs on steel and aluminum, and that's what caused all this nonsense. Even though the EU has, I don't know how many hundreds of tariffs and extra taxes when it comes to our products being sold in their little pissing ground communist fucking experiment of a country. Huh? That's just great, isn't it? But anyway, the thing was about the stock market today, it was so volatile. If you happen to be a day trader, these are the kind of days you want to day trade. I mean, this is where liquidity is made when it comes to day trading. I mean, in the morning, when the president announced that he was going to put the tariffs on China, and by the way, folks, he's going to put a 25% tariff on $50 billion worth of Chinese goods that come into the United States. All right? Yeah, I'm not even kidding around, man. You're going to put a 25% tax on $50 billion worth of Chinese goods. So, if you're not going to renegotiate it, China, we're going to take it out of your goddamn egg roll eating asses, okay? Jesus Christ. Anyway, listen, let me continue going here. Of course, China plans on doing the same thing. From what I understand, the preliminary talk of China, they're going to throw on like a 33% tariff. This is not official. I've just heard about this through a variety of different media outlets out in the international community. A potential 33% tariff on soybean. Soybean. I mean, are you kidding me? We actually sell soybean to these freaking zipper heads? Are you kidding me? We should be giving it to them so they can be more weak and shit. I mean, are you kidding? Hey, look, I'm sorry for all those that are, getting all upset because I said zipperhead. Come on, we all know it's all in good fun. You all know I'm a melting pot of friendship here, okay? You all know I'm a melting pot of friendship. But anyway, let's get back to the stocks, folks. Once again, that's the reason why you're having decreases. I mean, we were down today on the Dow as low as almost 300 points. Almost 300 points down today. But, of course, these investors, they're not stupid. They know that we're going to see some great earnings. They know that the unemployment is at the lowest point it's been in 40 years? Lowest unemployment in 40 years at this point in time. There was a report out of one of the major firms, I believe it was J.P. Morgan or Goldman Sachs, I forgot which one it was. They've even come out and admitted publicly that the economy, the GDP, is growing at a rate of 4% at this point. So when you take all in that economic data, that's why you have Wall Street being a little, feeling a little funny in the pants, to say the least. Oh, yeah, and I do want to remind everybody, I want to caution everybody who happens to use the exchange in which you can purchase cryptocurrency through fiat, and I'm talking about Coinbase. That's right, folks. Everybody, I'm sure, has to use Coinbase. They were the first ones that you had to use so that you could purchase Bitcoin and Ethereum and LTC, etc. Everybody always, at least in the cryptocurrency community, everybody always kind of reacts whenever Coinbase adds another cryptocurrency to its exchange. One thing I do want to add is that Gab, the last bastion of freedom of speech, my only social media representation, that's why I'm always plugging it, folks. Gab just recently got its Coinbase account closed just because it is a free speech social media site. So what's unfortunate, folks, for all you people that are, doing Coinbase, I would caution you to be careful if you become too vocal of a controversial figure and you have your information on there. They may just close your account and say, no, we're not doing business with you anymore. And, this is a very horrible precedent that's being set by these financial institutions, folks. We heard recently that, Citibank and a couple of other financial institutions were going to freeze account holders' accounts who happen to make purchases of firearms with their debit cards and shit. I mean, have you heard about this? I mean, this is freaking corporate fascism. This is corporate fascism. I mean, when the hell did corporations, especially financial institutions, become the moral authority of anything? Of anything. These people are the most unscrupulous scumbags that you'll ever find on the planet. Jesus Christ, man. So once again, I would strongly advise everybody to take a second look at Coinbase and potentially just kind of wither away your usefulness of it and try to look for other exchanges. Because if this is how Coinbase is going to react, and they are now going to act as some kind of a social justice warrior financial institution, well, this is starting to get a little dangerous. And that's why I'm encouraging everybody to put all your cryptocurrencies in your wallets that is on your computer or on a cold storage wallet or an offline wallet, whatever. Do not leave it on these exchanges, folks. That's why I talked about the 42 coin wallet that's out. I know there's a lot of folks out there that have bought 42 coin and it's on the exchange. I would strongly advise you to put it in the wallet. Keep it in there. I mean, when the crypto is in your wallet, there's nothing anyone can do unless they steal your goddamn computer. Or, you know, you get hacked by a Trojan horse or, something happens to where they gain access to the wallet and transfer it, etc. So anyway, with that being said, Coinbase, they're social justice warriors now. What a bunch of bastards. So anyway, I'm sorry about that. I had completely forgotten about that. They had just closed Gab's Coinbase account because Gab is trying to add the ability for one to donate cryptocurrency or to pay a subscription through cryptocurrency, but that's been pretty much thrown out the window now because Coinbase is trying to be a bunch of social justice warrior faggots, I guess. Anyway, look, let's get back to the stock market here. All right, I'm losing time. Let's get to the Dow Jones Industrial. Once again, we saw the Dow go as low as almost 300 points. Bounce back up, though, because everybody knows that the Trump economy is going to continue to bring good news. So with that being said, currently it's down. All right, it closed out down 84.83 points. A percentage decrease of 0.34%, closing out the Dow Jones Industrial at 25,090.48 points for the Dow Jones Industrial. We've got the S&P 500 also down today, 2.83 points, a percentage decrease of 0.10%, closing out the S&P at 2,779.66 points for the S&P 500. We've got the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is down 14.66 points, a percentage decrease of 0.19%, closing out the NASDAQ at 7,746.38 points for the NASDAQ composite. So once again, even though we saw some decreases in the day as low as 300 points, these damn Wall Street investors know that the Make America Great Again tax cut, the Make America Great Again economic policy, it's producing nothing but good news, and they know that's going to be reflected here coming soon. That's why what did I tell you? What did I tell you in 2017? I said, fiscal year 2018, I am bullish. I am bullish on this stock market. And it's coming to pass. If I don't say so myself, it's coming to pass. Now that we're seeing, once again, these massive increases in the value of the U.S. dollar, what does that mean for commodities, folks? It means that we should see nothing but red in commodities, except where? When the commodities investors suspect there's scarcity. And I'm just trying to, look, folks, I'm teaching you shit that is worth millions of dollars, and I don't want anything for it other than you to be capitalists and you to appreciate the show, man, and, not think that I'm entertainment for tards. That's all. I mean, I'm not entertainment for tards. All right, let's go ahead and get to energy, folks. Let's go ahead and see if this high dollar is actually reflective of the value. Let's see if we see a lot of red in commodities. Energy, baby, energy. WTI sweet crude is down $2.51, a percentage decrease of 3.75% decrease. Good God. Current price for WTI sweet crude is $64.38 per WTI sweet crude barrel. Let's go ahead and go to Brent crude. It is also down $2.50, a percentage decrease of what? 3.29% decrease. I mean, good God! I mean, you see what I'm talking about? Do you see what the fucking value dollar, the expensive ass value dollar that's very, very, very hot right now, you see what it's doing to the commodities? The same thing that it's doing to crypto. That's what I keep telling you. Right now, U.S. fiat is king. It is the king of the fiats right now, and it's reflective in all these prices. Why do you think I go over these prices, folks? I don't go over these prices just to waste time, because, man, prices change. Shit changes, man. And look, every time I say, hey, energy's down and gold's down and agriculture's down, and it'll be reflective in the supermarket if you happen to be shopping for groceries. It'll be reflective in the gas prices when you're pumping your gas. And you know what? When you see the prices go down, you'll know why. It's not magic. It's the market. Man, once again, Brent crude is down 3.29% decrease on the day. Current price for Brent crude is $73.44 per barrel of Brent crude oil. Take a look. Gasoline is down 3.71% decrease. Now, here we have natural gas. Natural gas is up 2.12%. Natural gas is up 2.12%. Now, I'm going to try to see if I can find out any news on this, on why this is going up. But I can't see any. Oh, here it is right now. Here it is right here. This is why we're seeing a 2.12% increase while everything is going down because of the value. Israel-Egypt gas costs near deal to control EMG pipeline. All right, the company's developing Israel's large. Okay, you see, now I can already hear white trash nationalists and autistic right saying, "You see, Ghost, my Jew, my Jew, my Jew, my Jew, my Jew." Anyway, the company's developing Israel's largest natural gas fields and an Egyptian partner are close to a deal that would give them control of the pipeline to Egypt, eliminating some of the outstanding legal disputes that have impeded the progress on the $15 billion export contract. So maybe this is what's doing it. I can't, there's nothing else I can see in the news here that's justifying this massive increase in natural gas. So once again, I mean, natural gas is up while everything is down. It is up 2.12%. Heating oil is down also 3.67%. Let's go ahead and get to the metals, shall we? The metals! Let's get to the goddamn metals! Now, metals are massively down. Why, again? Why? Now, once again, why are metals down? Because the dollar is up and up and up. This is why I am telling you. We haven't seen this before. Remember back in the day, 2011, 2012, when I was talking about how the dollar was worthless? And, you know, they just keep printing money. They keep printing money. And, you know, we saw gold go as high as $3,000 a troy ounce. We saw silver go as high as like $70 a troy ounce. I mean, the reason was because our Federal Reserve, remember, they could not stop printing money. Remember, they had all these little fancy words, these little fancy economic jargon to justify or to describe their little printing sessions. Remember the twist? Remember quantitative easing? You know, remember, it's just so stupid, man. It's so fucking stupid. But anyway, that's not the case anymore. Now, all of a sudden, you have the damn Federal Reserve raising interest rates. And what do I tell you, folks? Whenever the Federal Reserve raises interest rates, they're recalling all those outstanding currency notes that they have been printing out since Alan Greenspan in the year 2001. All right? I mean, they're recalling all those outstanding currency notes with the interest rate, and that's why the value of the dollar goes up. That's why the Federal Reserve raises interest rates, because they have to recall all those outstanding dollars so that they can bring back value to the fiat currency of the U.S. dollar itself. And that's what we're seeing here today, folks. Let's take a look at metals. I mean, look at this shit. Gold right now is down $26.30 decrease. I mean, good God! Man, that is a percentage change of 2.01% decrease. 2.01% decrease on the day, closing out gold at $1,282 even per troy ounce of gold. Jesus Christ. Good God. But once again, I tell you, the dollar's king, baby. The dollar is king. Anyway, we are now 3 minutes into the second hour of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And, of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost. And once again, folks, I want to thank you very much for tuning in with me. Before we get started on anything else, I'd like to ask you, please, spread this show link around like wildfire, folks. And let me tell you, you're not going to be embarrassed to share it. I know there's a lot of folks that were, they're true listeners. They actually like the financial commentary. They like the political commentary. They like the international relations commentary. But whenever it came to the shout-outs and whenever it came to the radio graffiti, whenever they would advise it to somebody, they would be like, what the hell was that? That's just horrible. So listen, don't worry about that anymore. We're not going back to that, all right? We're not going back to that, so you're not going to have to be ashamed of saying, hey, this is who I listen to, man. It's pretty good commentary. It's pretty good stuff over here. Go ahead and listen to it. He's provocative. He may say a fuck or a shit every now and then, but either way, man, he'll make you think. You know what I'm saying? He'll give you information. He'll expand your mind, man. Anyway, please spread the link around like wildfire, the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast, and it is ghost.report. All right, it's as simple as that, ghost.report, and add that to your favorites and your bookmarks, folks. And once again, if you don't have a Gab account, all right, I strongly advise you to get one. It is the last bastion of freedom of speech on the internet and social media today. Go ahead and get one right now. You can type it in your browser, gab.ai. Get a goddamn account, for Christ's sake, man. While social media is acting like a bunch of totalitarian morons out here, banning anybody who has any kind of right-wing political perspective, get yourself a Gab account, man. And you can follow me on there once you do. You can follow me under the name Politics Ghost. All one word, no underscores. Politics Ghost is the name to follow. And once again, I want to say what's going on to the True Capitalist Radio chat room. Man, they're talking about all kinds of things in there. What's going on? I see you, baby. What's going on? And if you want to be a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, as a matter of fact, I'll tell you what. I'll give an incentive for folks to join the True Capitalist Radio chat room, okay? Because I know that many of the folks that are listening, that are legit listeners, they feel that, if they join the True Capitalist Radio chat room, that they are going to, find a bunch of retards. And I know what we talked about yesterday, autists. Look, all that crap has been, colon cleansed out of the True Capitalist Radio chat room. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm just saying, it's colon cleansed right out of the damn chat room. So I'm advising everybody, if you want to be a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, all right, I'm paying the next 10 new members. The next 10 new members, all right, I'm giving them $5 cryptocurrency. How you like that? Huh? How you like that? All right? The next 10 members I'm giving that sign up to the True Capitalist Radio chat room, I'm giving them $5 in cryptocurrency. Okay? The next 10. All right, it's only it's $5. And by the way, folks, if you're a little apprehensive on subscribing to the premium content, that's how you get to the True Capitalist Radio chat room. By the way, folks, what you do is you go to my Politics Ghost Gab account, go to Politics Ghost, and once you do, hit the subscribe button for premium content. Now, I've had a lot of people say that they're a little iffy. They don't know about hooking it up and using their credit card on Gab. Folks, aside from, hooking it up and helping the show out by subscribing to the True Capitalist Radio chat room, aside from that, you're also helping Gab as well. And to be honest with you folks, I mean, you're hitting a double whammy there, because Gab, you know, they take a little bit of a percentage of yours truly's subscriptions and anything else that I happen to do on this particular social media front. But I really don't mind, because in my opinion, I mean, it's like Gab against the world out here. All right? It's like Gab against the world. I'm not even kidding. So, I mean, it would help not only this broadcast, but also Gab if you subscribe to the True Capitalist Radio chat room. So once again, the next 10 new members, I'll give you $5 in cryptocurrency, all right? $5 in cryptocurrency. It's that simple. And now that we've gotten that all out of the way, let's go ahead and continue on with the markets, for Christ's sake, all right? Let me go ahead and continue on here. All right, now let's go on to silver, because we just got done with gold. Silver, we got silver down today 69 cents, a percentage decrease. Folks, check this out. A percentage decrease of 4.01%. Can you believe this? 4.01% decrease for silver. So that's what I keep telling you, man. The dollar is king. The dollar is king. Current price for silver is $16.57 per troy ounce of silver. So, man, I mean, you all understand what I'm telling you about this U.S. dollar. Some people, they don't get it. Some people think I'm just saying it because it's just something that I can say because it's economically, linguistically pleasant or something. No, this is for real, man. The United States fucking U.S. dollar is up the ass. I mean, for a lack of a better term, it's very valuable. And that's why it's reflective here, man. All right? Anyway, let's get to copper here. Copper is down 2.67%. I mean, these are big numbers here. Platinum is down 1.89%. Let's go ahead and get to agriculture. Now, once again, we should see mostly red in agriculture unless there is a deemed scarcity amongst the individuals that are out there in the investment community who are, you know, think that there might be a scarcity going on. They're investing in that. They're buying contracts in that. So without any further ado, let's get to the grains. Corn is down 0.54%. Wheat is down 0.72%. Oats, look at oats, folks. It is up 1.52% increase for oats. Rice continues its increase. It is up today 0.45% increase. We got soybean. It is down, and now obviously this is going to be down because of the Chinese retaliatory tariff. But soybean is down 2.05%. Soybean oil is down 2.10%, and canola is up 0.35%. Let's go ahead and get to the soft, shall we? We've got cocoa. Cocoa is up. And now, why do you think cocoa is up, folks? Ebola, 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 Ebola. And they're having and not to mention, isn't there like other shit that's floating around out there? I mean, didn't they, not just Ebola, didn't they find, oh no, that was somewhere else. They actually found the plague in some child in Idaho. I forgot about that. I thought it was Africa, but hey, why do you think there's the plague in Idaho? Huh? Probably, in my opinion, it has something to do with these immigrated Somalians that we keep seeing walking around America out here, which I don't appreciate, okay? All right, let's go ahead and get to the softs. All right, once again, cocoa is up 3.53% increase for cocoa. We've got coffee. Coffee's down 0.34%, and I don't give a shit if you haven't had your coffee today. We've got sugar. Sugar is down 1.67%. Orange juice is up 2.15%. And once again, I still think that we're having that, trucker strike out in Brazil. You got all kinds of disorder happening in Brazil, unless we forget that Brazil is the largest producer of oranges. And we don't know if Brazil's going to be able to produce the yield that everyone's used to having it produced. So that's why everybody's like, I don't know about this one, dude. I think we're going to have some scarcity here. Let's go ahead and get to cotton. Cotton is up, or excuse me, cotton is down. Cotton is down. Cotton is down 3.35% decrease. Lumber is down 1.43% decrease. Rubber is down 0.94% decrease, and ethanol is slightly up at 0.28% increase. Let's get to livestock. Now, good God, I mean, you know, what's happening to live cattle? Who the hell knows? Live cattle is up in this down market. Live cattle is up 2.85% increase on the day. Good God. We've got cattle feeder up 2.99% increase on the day. And once again, I don't want to, take too much time for this, but you all know we have to bring back the ham bone movement. Every time you see these fat, jelly-ass, back-titted, cellulite dripping off their face ham bones that are riding around in a goddamn hover-round at the grocery store, at the shopping mall, just pass right by them. Don't confront them. Don't do anything. Just pass by them and say, ham bone. Fat, greasy-ass, smelly-ass, stinky, smelly ham bone. I mean, simple as that. We have to make America beautiful again, man. And hopefully, just hopefully, they'll get the message and put the fucking fork down for about 5 minutes. Anyway, lean hog is down a 0.45% decrease on the day. And that, my friends, is the markets for your ass. All right? All right, let me have a drink of this beer here. I want to say happy Baller Friday to everybody who's listening in. And believe it or not, folks, even though we've dropped the whole radio graffiti and dropped the whole shout-out nonsense, man, I mean, I'm seeing the numbers pick up. I think people have been waiting for this. I'm not even joking. I mean, they're like, go, stop with the bullshit. Stop with the whole entertainment for tards crap, all right? Give us the economics and give us the straight political dope, all right? That's what we want. That's what we want. Mainline it. Mainline that straight political dope, baby. So that's exactly what I'm doing. So let's go ahead, since we're not doing shout-outs anymore, let me go ahead and go right to the crux of the broadcast. Let's talk a little bit about the President of the United States and the Inspector General report. Now, some of you might think that I'm maybe going into some kind of conspiratorial direction. But, folks, this is in the Inspector General report, so I'd like for you all to follow me, if you will, and if you're very interested in this. Now, first and foremost, I want to say that the Inspector General report details the crimes of all these idiots involved in this grand conspiracy, but it does it in a abstract legalese type of capacity. And basically, it details what these people are doing, but not necessarily what they're doing. Now, let me explain. I'd like, if y'all, you know what, let me give y'all some time to go to your copy of the Inspector General report, because I'd like for you all to follow with me, because I don't want you to think that I'm making this up. Okay? And while you're doing that, let me get more beer! Yeah! While you're out there looking for your copy of the Inspector General report, let me go ahead and get some more beer going on, and you're going to get some more beer. You know, it's Baller Friday. Don't judge me, baby. It's Baller Friday! Oh, yeah. Woo! All right. Now that you all hopefully have gotten your copy of the Inspector General report, I'd like for everybody to kind of follow with me right now, okay? Because this is going to go into some directions that, might I say, Pizzagate? Y'all remember Pizzagate? Well, let me take a step back for a second, okay? Do you all remember, obviously, the whole Pizzagate scenario and how that snowballed into the Anthony Weiner laptop? And everyone had suspected that there was something major, something damaging on that Anthony Weiner laptop. And we had many people come out from low-end FBI to the NYPD. As a matter of fact, the NYPD almost went out with whatever the contents were on that particular laptop. Why they didn't, I have no idea. Probably threatened, if you want my opinion. But anyway, I want everybody to remember that there was something big on the Anthony Weiner laptop, and everybody speculated on it, everybody talked about it, but nothing came out of it. Nothing came out of it whatsoever. Now, I hope that you guys are now having your own copy of the Inspector General report. I'd like for you all to go to the bottom of page 293. And I'd like for you all to follow me on number 3, bulletin point 3, meeting between Comey and Coleman on October 4th. Has everybody got that? Okay. Now, I would like for you all to know that Coleman is a man by the name of Randall Coleman, who was he was then at the time, but now he's the former assistant director of counterintelligence for the FBI. So that would mean, I guess, Strzok was his boss, because I think Strzok, isn't he the head of counterintelligence at the FBI? So once again, this meeting between Comey and Coleman, they're referring to Randall Coleman, now former assistant director of counterintelligence for the FBI. Now, is everybody on 293? Okay. Now let's go ahead and read that together, shall we? Now, Comey's Outlook calendar for October 4th contains entries for morning briefs from 8:15 a.m. to 9 a.m. That is immediately followed by an entry for meeting with EAD Coleman from 9 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Coleman told us that he could not recall this briefing with Comey. And listen, you're going to hear this a lot throughout the whole goddamn Inspector General report. Coleman doesn't remember, Comey doesn't remember. But you know what they do? They say, I don't recall that ever happening, but if it did happen, it was because of this, and this. You read this type of fucking bullshit throughout the whole goddamn report. But let me continue, okay? I don't want to digress, okay? Once again, Coleman told us that he could not recall this briefing with Comey. Coleman stated that staying behind to brief Comey would be consistent with normal practice, but added that he did not recall this specific instance. Coleman told us that it would be unusual to have one-on-one meeting with Comey, and told us someone else would typically be present at these briefings, such as the DD or ADD, whoever the hell that is. While not remembering this meeting, Coleman speculated that this may have been a one-on-one meeting with Comey to discuss Coleman's upcoming retirement from the FBI, December 2016. How convenient, Coleman. How convenient. Well, let's continue. Let's go to the top of 294 of the IG report, okay? Now, Coleman told us he regularly took notes in a journal. Now, Coleman's notes from October 4th contain the following entry. Now, October 4th, folks, is when the FBI got a hold of the Anthony Weiner laptop. Okay? Now, what I'm about to read is Coleman's notes from the October 4th journal in which he entered, okay? Now, the first thing on his journal, it's numerical. It says, number 1, Anthony Weiner. Number 2, unrelated. Obviously, that's redacted. 3, Weiner, texting 15-year-old, sexually explicit, 926 Federal SW, iPhone, iPad, laptop. Initial analysis of laptop, thousands of emails. Hillary Clinton and Foundation. And guess what it says at the last of this list, of this little note? It says crime against children. Crime against children. Now, here we go again, huh? Here we go again. Didn't we just discuss this in relation, and I'm digressing a little bit, we'll come back to this in a second. Didn't I just discuss this in relation to the Anthony Bourdain, quote, suiciding? You know? Oh, yeah, he committed suicide. and who's looking. Prior to his, quote, suicide, Anthony Bourdain was tweeting a lot of agitating type tweets against Hillary Clinton. One tweet in particular, I believe, I saw on, I think it was June 5th, in which Anthony Bourdain says, I have information that could put Hillary Clinton in prison. Not to mention, folks, Asia Argenta, which was his current girlfriend at the time, was one of the first women to speak out against Harvey Weinstein in relation to the whole Harvey Weinstein debacle. Okay? Now, once again, why do I bring that up? Why do I bring up the Kate Spade situation, which also had Clinton Foundation connections? Now, lest we forget that Anthony Bourdain did business with the Clinton Foundation in Haiti. He helped make a documentary with him and Sean Penn for the Clinton Foundation. And we all know that the Clinton Foundation always has some ties to children to some capacity, and that's exactly what Kate Spade's connection to the Clinton Foundation was the fact that she was out there to help promote women entrepreneurship, women artistry, and also did business with the same woman who was convicted for trying to sneak young children out of Haiti into the United States. Now, I don't want to get too far into that, but what I do want to say is this, okay? Here we go again with children. Why are children always involved when it comes to some nefarious activity with the Clinton Foundation? Now, let's continue, okay? I'm going to continue reading all the way down throughout the page of 294 on the IG report. We asked Coleman about these notes, and he told us that given their placement in his notebook, the notes most likely would represent information he was briefed on first thing in the morning by his subordinates in the Criminal Investigative Division. Coleman stated that he may have passed this information to other FBI executives after the morning briefing with the director. He could not remember if that occurred here. Once again, I can't remember. I can't remember. But if I did, it would have done the Let's continue. James Comey told us that he did not recall the briefing by Coleman reflected in his calendar. Oh, here we go again. I can't remember. I can't remember. And these guys are at the highest echelon of the fucking FBI, and they can't remember? These are the guys that are producing, that are supposed to be producing the highest criminals. They're supposed to be going after the highest criminals, the highest crimes. They're supposed to be implementing justice at the federal level, and they can't remember shit? I can't remember! Oh, my God. Anyway, let me continue. Comey told us that he did not recall the briefing by Coleman reflected in his calendar. We asked Comey if this briefing could have been the time in early October that he recalled being told about the connection between mid-year and the Weiner investigation. Comey stated, "It's possible this is what is knocking around in the back of my head, but I know the frailty of memory from having done a lot of this work. At least in my memory, it's much more of an informal meeting about it, but it's possible." I mean, Jesus Christ, do you understand what I'm saying? A bunch of abstract legalese. And this is just one aspect of this whole 600-page document. I just wanted to bring this up because this is very suspicious once again. Because once again, do y'all remember when we were talking about the Anthony Weiner laptop? And we were all speculating because a lot of folks were coming out saying that their contacts with the NYPD, their contacts with the FBI were stating that there was horrible, detailed fucking evidence of children being abused in this laptop. So, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Let's continue, okay? Let's continue. We showed Coleman's notes from October 4th to Comey. Comey did not recall being briefed on the information contained in those notes. Oh, so the director of the FBI wasn't even briefed on the notes that we just talked about that have, once again, what does it have? Anthony Weiner, unrelated, Weiner texting a 15-year-old, sexually explicit, 926, federal SW, iPhone, iPad, laptop, initial analysis of laptop, thousands emails, Hillary Clinton and Foundation, crime against children. But you just can't recall. I don't recall talking to this guy about that. As a matter of fact, I don't remember ever being briefed about that. I'm the director of the FBI, and I don't remember ever being briefed about that shit. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Do you understand what I'm saying, folks? I mean, this is just this aspect. I mean, let me continue, and then I'm going to move on. Okay. I'm going to go back where I started. We showed Coleman's notes from October 4th to Comey. Comey did not recall being briefed on the information contained in these notes. Okay? When we asked about James Comey said he thought very highly of him and described him as a straight shooter. We asked Comey if this information was something that he likely would have put out of his mind after being informed of it early in October. Comey responded, I don't think so unless the way it's been passed to me was with some, you don't need to do anything, we're doing it, we're running it down, or something that pushed it down on my priority list. I mean, just Jesus Christ, this fucking legalese garbage. Last paragraph, okay? When we asked if he recalled this meeting between Coleman and Comey, Rybicki stated that he did not. Bowditch told us that it was possible that he would have been at this meeting between Comey and Coleman, but he had no recollection of it. McCabe continued to be on travel and was not in Washington, D.C. on October 4th. So once again, folks, another tying in the Inspector General's report. All right, in the Inspector General's report relating to the Clinton Foundation and children. All right? I mean, good God. All right? And listen, I'm not alluding to anything. I mean, don't you think that sounds to me like a cover-up? Oh, I don't remember. I mean, the FBI Director Comey stating that he doesn't even remember being briefed on those notes. So are they covering up some massive crimes against children relating to the Clinton Foundation? I mean, it sure as hell smells like it. I mean, we've always speculated, those of us that have done the investigative work, I mean, we've talked about it many times. I mean, how come this freaking subject matter keeps popping up in relation to the Clintons? And I don't think it's a coinkydink that, like I said, two people that were close to the Clintons. As a matter of fact, it's three people. Remember, three people died that week in the same suicide fashion. It was Kate Spade. It was Anthony Bourdain. Both did business with the Clinton Foundation in Haiti, the whole 9 yards. And then you had the sister of Queen Maxima of the Netherlands. The sister of Queen Maxima of the Netherlands, that same week, killed herself in the same fashion as Kate Spade. Tied a scarf around her neck, tied it around a doorknob, choked herself to death, strangled. Did the old David Carradine. Queen Maxima sister killed herself in the same capacity as Kate Spade. Now, if you take a look at Queen Maxima's sister, she was actually in the government of Buenos Aires, actually a coordinator for what? Children. And this is all documented. You can go look this up for yourself. But I'm telling you, this stinks to high hell. Just that portion right there, man. That portion right there shows that whatever was on that goddamn Anthony Weiner laptop, we didn't get all of it. We didn't get all of it, and where is it? I mean, what's going on here? Now, aside from that and the potential linkage to Pizzagate type of activity, what else did the Inspector General report conclude? It concluded that James Comey was insubordinate in the way he handled the Clinton email investigation. Comey also used a Gmail account for FBI business. I mean, what the fuck? Are you kidding me? I mean, our government, this is how our government is conducting business, for Christ's sake. They're using Gmail accounts? I mean, wouldn't that technically, give Google, some kind of compromising position to put these people that they have the overseeing of their emails? Couldn't they put them in a compromising position? I don't know. I'm just saying. Anyway, FBI agents, and let me tell you, there's another thing that's very, very fishy about this, because it's 600 pages, folks. There's a lot of garbage. It's a bunch of bureaucratic, abstract language, legalese, hyperbole, and you really have to read through it to try to see what exactly they're trying to say without implicating them in any kind of goddamn real crime, But they talk about these FBI agents, Agent 1 and Agent 5. Have you heard about these people? Well, Agent 1 and Agent 5 apparently were FBI agents that were either integrated into the 2016 campaign of Donald Trump or closely related, whatever. They were agents obviously observing for whatever investigative capacity. And for whatever reason, these agents thought that they were completely in the clear on utilizing regular cellular phone texting mechanisms instead of utilizing the encrypted FBI texts that I'm assuming were issued to these damn agents. The same thing as Peter Strzok and Lisa Page, for heaven's sake. But Agent 1 and Agent 5 had a lot to say to each other. Agent 5 bashes Trump habitually. Same with Agent 1. They bash him. They say F Trump, fuck Trump. As a matter of fact, Agent 5 calls Trump supporters retards from Ohio. I'm not kidding. And you know what, folks? These are supposed to be FBI agents protecting you and me. These are supposed to be FBI agents protecting our country, keeping us safe from terrorists, for Christ's sake. And yet they can't leave their political bias in the back burner. I mean, aren't these FBI professionals? I mean, this is what I'm saying, folks. I mean, the IG has exposed how goddamn corrupt the highest levels of our judicial branch really are, especially the FBI and the DOJ, man. I mean, at this point, I think that the FBI should be completely disbanded. I'm in disagreement with this whole, the boots on the ground, they're okay, but that's the higher echelon. Bullshit, man. I mean, this organization from the bottom up should have usurped power and jailed their own superiors based upon what they knew was a politically weaponized attempt at using the institution of the FBI to take out a duly elected presidential candidate. But they didn't. Why? Because, I just take orders. I just take orders. Listen, the FBI is not some sacred institutional cow of American history. Lest we forget, it was created during the time of Al Capone, for heaven's sake. All right? I mean, J. Edgar Hoover, he was the first head of the FBI, and he wouldn't let that institution go until he croaked. And what did the FBI do under J. Edgar Hoover's tutelage? Spied on everybody. Spied on every goddamn American. I mean, and then is this all the FBI does? I mean, spy on Americans and then what, not keep us safe? And utilize the institution of the FBI and the DOJ to usurp the people's vote? Because that's what this deep state fucking conspiracy was trying to do. It was trying to usurp the American people's vote. It was trying to show us that our vote means nothing and that they, the Washington, D.C. swamp, the deep state, are in charge. And by God, I thank God that, we have a president that has such a resilience to stress and is fearless to take on this goddamn DC swamp and the deep state, for heaven's sake, man. I think we need to disband the FBI altogether, man. It is a corrupt organization. It has not kept us safe. Even Robert Mueller, when he was the FBI director, admitted in a CBS interview in 2002 that his incompetence probably helped 9/11 happen. He admitted it in a CBS interview. I have it on Ghost.Report. Just scroll down and you can see it for yourself. I mean, do you understand, folks? I mean, the FBI has done nothing. It's done absolutely nothing. All it does is it infringes upon our Bill of Rights. It supersedes our Fourth Amendment, our Fifth Amendment. It just supersedes our First Amendment. They don't care. They don't care about search and seizures. They don't care if you got the right to remain silent. You plead the Fifth. They don't care if you've got the right to freedom of speech. If you are a target on the FBI radar, you are in big fucking trouble. And you see, at the very least, all right, even if you're some biased liberal, at the very least, it shows that there is a complete different discrepancy of initiating justice if you're a Democrat or a Republican. I mean, that's what this Inspector General report shows. It shows that if you happen to be Hillary Clinton and you happen to be a part of the Democrats, you can get away with whatever the fuck you want, and the FBI will take a lackadaisical approach in investigating whatever it is that you did as a crime if you happen to be a Democrat. But no, if you happen to be a Republican like Donald Trump, oh, we've got to pull out all kinds of weird-ass laws and special counsels and all this nonsense. It is crap. It is utter crap, man. Jesus Christ. I mean, don't we understand that there was a complete different institution of justice on both sides? I mean, lest we forget that Hillary Clinton, she had a private email server in her bathroom or in a closet somewhere, wherever the hell it was, so she could bypass the Freedom of Information Act. Now, why is that so important? Because the Freedom of Information Act keeps our government in check. Anyone can go and file a FOIA request for any documents that are unclassified. You understand? And what Hillary Clinton attempted to do was go outside the FOIA public servers of the Secretary of State of the Department of Jesus Christ, I'm coming with the Secretary of State, the State Department, excuse me. Instead of utilizing the encrypted yet FOIA requestable servers of the State Department, Hillary Clinton decided that she was going to supersede that and kind of bypass the Freedom of Information Act and have her own private server. Now, even in the Inspector General report, folks, it says that foreign actors got access to Hillary Clinton's private email server, and classified information was compromised. Hell, even Comey said it, even though he didn't want to prosecute Hillary Clinton to begin with. And you see, folks, I've said this from day one. Aside from Hillary Clinton wanting to go around the Freedom of Information Act request, why would she want to do that? Because, folks, her Clinton Foundation, just like the president has said, President Trump, just like he said about the Clinton Foundation, it is a pay-for-play. They get billions of dollars from all kinds of international state actors, governments, and all kinds of different entities, and you don't think that they have to pay them back to some capacity? You don't think that they have to pay them back all those billions just for Bill Clinton to go and speak? You know? I mean, didn't Bill Clinton get like a $10 or $15 million speech engagement prior to the sale of Uranium One? Remember that? He got like $10 or $15 million to speak in Russia. Now that Russia is such a bad, it's treason now. He went to go speak in Russia as a private citizen, got like 10 or 15 million bucks, and then lo and behold, while his wife is in the State Department, approved the Uranium One deal, which gave 25% of America's uranium to Russia. I mean, this is just hypocrisy, man. And that's why I'm telling you, what Hillary Clinton did, if you want my opinion, what she did was use that damn server as a means of plausible deniability to put classified information on there so governments could access it. Oh, Jesus Christ. They're trying to choke me. They're trying to take me out. They're trying to take me out. Oh. I don't know where the hell that came from, folks. Ugh. Oh, man. Good God. I'm sorry. Let me take a step back over here. Let me blow my honker. Jesus Christ. You gotta forgive me, folks. I do a lot of talking. What am I? Am I getting stricken with the Hillary Clinton shit? Is that it? Hold on. I just gotta... Hold on. Hold on. Of course, I'm getting hit up with this Hillary Clinton shit right in the middle of talking about her, right? Anyway, listen. Please excuse me there, folks. I've been doing a lot of talking for the past week, and I'm not only talking on this broadcast for 3 straight hours, but also kicking it in the chat rooms and things of that nature. So, as a result, occasionally you'll get a couple of frogs in your throat, to say the least, so my apologies on that one. Anyway, sorry y'all had to hear me cough and choke and blow my honker. But, like I was saying, folks, Hillary Clinton, I mean, she bypassed all this shit, the Freedom of Information Act request, so that she could use that private server as plausible deniability to give classified information to foreign actors. I mean, there's no other reason why she would want to go behind the Freedom of Information Act request. All right, yeah, I'm all right, folks. Everybody's like, are you okay, bro? Yeah, I'm all right, man. I'm just a little frog in the throat, man. My apologies on that. But once again, I thought they were strangling your ass. Somebody in the chat room was like, man, I thought they were strangling. I thought that was it. I thought, and then you're going to hear him, ghost. He was a former talk show host, found dead, hanging. I will never kill myself, okay? I want everybody to know that right now. I will never kill myself. I'll never hang myself. I don't believe in autoerotic asphyxia or any of that crap, so... All right, just saying. Good. I got a frog in my throat, man. I'm sorry about that, man. Let me take some more beer here. It sounds like they were choking you out. Anyway, with all seriousness, man, we need to just take a consideration with this Inspector General report that there is 2 methods of justice for the FBI and the DOJ. If you're a Republican, they're going to throw everything that they can at you, and everything that they, not only at you, but at anybody who's around you, man. I'm not joking. I mean, they'll try to take out anybody around you, for heaven's sake. Now, the Inspector General who comprised this 600-page document, Michael Horowitz, the Inspector General of the Department of Justice, he's going to testify next week both in the Senate Judiciary Committee and the House Intelligence Committees the House next week. Now, the Senate Judiciary Committee and the House Intel Committees, he will be testifying in them next week. And I'm looking forward to it because I'm hoping some of these senators and some of these congressmen will actually ask the right questions, because this was pretty much of a nothing burger, folks. Even though it highlighted many of the high crimes of these actors, like Comey, like Lynch, like Peter Strzok, like Lisa Page, like Agent 1 and Agent 5, like all these characters. You know what the Inspector General said? It said that maybe, it concluded that James Comey was insubordinate in the way he handled the Clinton email investigation, but there was no bias. There was no bias. No, there was no bias. How could there be no bias? How in the fuck can there be no bias, man? Well, I hope that we get some answers from this Inspector General, because if you want my opinion, this Inspector General report is a bunch of abstract language, bullshit legalese, so it can once again cover the tails of the swamp. Cover the asses of the swamp, for Christ's sake. And folks, we have to admit there's two brands of justice. One for Democrats, which, can get away with anything. I mean, Hillary and Bill Clinton, they get away with everything. And one for Republicans, where if you're innocent, they're going to find something to find you guilty on. And this is ridiculous. This is why the Robert Mueller special counsel, it needs to end, and it needs to end tomorrow. I'm not joking. It needs to end tomorrow. I mean, let's just take in consideration what they're doing to one of the former campaign managers of Trump's campaign in 2016, which only worked on the campaign for like 45 days, and I'm talking about Paul Manafort, okay? Now, did y'all hear what happened to Paul Manafort today? Paul Manafort had his bond revoked. There's a fucking, $10 million bond he's out on, or some $50 million, whatever the hell it is. Had it revoked, and now he's sent to jail, sent directly to jail to trial, until his trial, I should say. Why? Because according to Robert Mueller, he was trying to, get in contact with individuals that were, named as, suspects in this investigation or something. I have no idea. But what I think this is all about, folks, is this emphasis on Paul Manafort. It comes down to this. Remember in 2016, Roger Stone brought in Paul Manafort because Donald Trump was having a little bit of trouble with this whole delegate nonsense. Remember? I mean, everybody wanted Donald Trump to be the nominee as far as the people were concerned, but the internal GOP party didn't want Donald Trump. Remember, they were like, hey, look, the primaries don't mean anything. It's us, the delegates, that choose who we want to run as president of our party. And then they brought in Paul Manafort. Now, Paul Manafort, folks, this guy's a hardcore political operative. He's done all kinds of political work for all kinds of different governments. That's what he does for a living. That's what he makes all his money on, man. He's a political operative. He consults, and he knows how to read, like, political rule books, and he knows how to politically maneuver. I mean, he's that fucking good at politics, okay? Now, what he's being charged with, Manafort, and why he's being thrown into jail, has nothing to do with Trump, has nothing to do with the campaign. As a matter of fact, all the crimes that he is being alleged and charged with were from like over a decade ago, man. They're going back over a decade and throwing Paul Manafort into jail for some shit he did 12 years ago. I mean, not even the IRS goes back that far, man. I think the IRS goes back, 10 years? And here you got this asshole Mueller going at Manafort. And let's be honest, folks. Manafort got Donald Trump the delegates. Y'all remember that? He got the delegates. He was so certain that he would get the delegates. Now, why would you think Paul Manafort was so certain about getting the delegates? I mean, Paul Manafort probably knows where all the bodies are buried out there in the Republican Party and forced the delegates to vote for Trump. Remember, he was confident in it. I mean, right when he was brought aboard to the Trump campaign, Manafort said, we're going to win it hands down. Don't worry about it. And obviously, being such a political operative for about 40 or 50 years like Manafort's been, he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's talking about, man. So I think that this is where this Mueller emphasis on Manafort is coming from. He's like, oh yeah, well, we're going to show you. We're going to show you for forcing Trump into this thing of ours in Washington, D.C. called the swamp. I'm going to make a lesson out of Manafort that anyone that tries to bring in an outsider into our political establishment is going to pay. That's what I think this is all about. This is the establishment paying back and making an example of a political operative that forced a party to nominate a candidate that they didn't want. And how was Paul Manafort able to do that? Well, your guess is as good as mine. I'm pretty sure he knows where all the bodies are buried to all these people, and they pretty much had to succumb to whatever Manafort said. That's why this guy's getting hit up with this crap. He's being charged for shit that he did 12 years ago. And you know that he could potentially go to goddamn jail for life for this crap? For life! That's what I'm telling you. There's a double standard of justice. If you happen to be a Republican, the FBI and the DOJ will go above and beyond to make sure they make an example of you. But if you happen to be a Democrat, oh, well, they were just careless and unsophisticated. That's all. That's all it was. They're just careless and unsophisticated. They weren't negligent. And I cannot charge somebody who was just careless and unsophisticated. That's why Robert Mueller is all over Paul Manafort. Don't you ever forget it, folks. I mean, just like the president said this morning in that great impromptu press conference, he said that Paul Manafort he'd worked for Gerald Ford, he worked for Reagan, he worked for Bush, he worked for Bob Dole, he worked for John McCain. All of a sudden, this guy's some kind of a bad guy? I'll tell you why he's a bad guy. He was the guy who got Trump the delegates, you remember? He was the one that got Trump the delegates. And they're going to make him pay. And to be honest with you, I think that the president is in his moral and ethical position to pardon Paul Manafort. Because, I mean, I don't think Paul Manafort did anything, man. I mean, to be completely honest with you, if they're going to charge him with anything, they shouldn't go back 12 years. 12 fucking years to oh, my God. But that's what it comes down to, folks. There's two different sides of justice in the FBI, okay? If you're a Democrat, you get away with whatever you want. The FBI and the DOJ will take a lackadaisical approach in investigating you. They'll forget. I don't remember that happening. You'll hear a lot of that. They'll cover you up, no problem, if you're a Democrat. If you're a Republican, well, then they're going to try to do whatever it takes to not only throw you in jail, but to set precedent, to make an example of you. And folks, that's not right. That's not right, and it needs to be stopped, and we need to demand justice. Because as I've always stated, folks, are these people at the highest echelons of the Department of Justice and the FBI, are they too big to jail? Are we ever going to see justice happen to these people who politically weaponized institutions of government? Are we going to see justice? I don't think so, folks. I don't think so. And look, aside from Mueller, aside from the fucking deep state, aside from the media, here you have the New York State coming at Donald Trump. Did you hear about this convenient lawsuit that was filed right before the Inspector General's report came out? Y'all hear about this yesterday? The New York Attorney General, Barbara D. Underwood, who took over for the disgraced Eric Schneiderman. You remember Eric Schneiderman? He was the former Attorney General for New York. He had to step down because 4 different women accused him of fucking beating the crap out of him. All right? Well, remember, Eric Schneiderman didn't like Trump. He would actually tweet at Trump saying, "Hey, I'm going to be watching you, and I'm going to take you down, Trump, okay? I'm Eric Schneiderman. I'm the Attorney General of New York, dude. I got you, Trump. I know you. I know you." And then Eric Schneiderman had to step down because he's a goddamn abusive piece of crap. Well, anyway, the new New York Attorney General, Barbara D. Underwood, decided to file a lawsuit against the Donald J. Trump Foundation. Oh, here we go. Now, what I don't understand is, first of all, what a conveniently timed lawsuit right before the goddamn releasing of the Inspector General report. But secondly, folks, I dug into this lawsuit to find out what exactly this broad is trying to do and trying to claim the Donald J. Trump Foundation did that was so wrong. Okay? Now, when you hear about, like, oh my God, fraud and mismanagement of money, and they use a nonprofit organization to funnel money for his own gain, and that's not what happened, folks. That's not what happened at all. Okay? The New York Attorney General and the media have blown this nothing burger out of proportion. Okay? Now, the New York Attorney General, Barbara D. Underwood, is suing the Donald J. Trump Foundation on two grounds, okay? The first ground is that the foundation had no formal board of directors, no kind of formal, direct bureaucratic entity. And basically, it was nothing more than, a small division within Trump's organization, and basically Trump just kind of wrote checks. He was the guy who was in charge of just kind of writing the checks. It was no big deal. Now, what the Attorney General of New York is trying to claim is that they are a 501c3 nonprofit, which makes the donations that go into the Trump Foundation deductible. So if he's a 501c3, that means he has to have some kind of legal bureaucratic infrastructure. But what I hope this dumb broad knows, because I've just looked it up now, or before the show, the Donald J. Trump Foundation is not just a 501c3, it is a 990PF. A 980, I think it is, 980-PF. Now, what the hell that means is that it is a private foundation. Now, when you are a 980-PF, that means that you have to list every one of your donors for public information, for public knowledge. And if you take a look at all the donors that have donated to the Donald J. Trump Foundation, none of them have any kind of Trump interest. These are all outsiders actually writing checks to the foundation with the intention of the foundation giving it away for charity, which it has done. All the money that was ever generated from the Trump Foundation, the Donald J. Trump Foundation, was all spent to charities. I mean, that's basically what it was. You donate to the Donald J. Trump Foundation. Donald J. Trump and his organization find charities or nonprofits that are helping. The one that they're taking offense to, the one that the New York Attorney General is taking the president to court for, is for the 2016 fundraising for the veterans. Now, let's talk about this. The first ground that the New York Attorney General is suing the Donald J. Trump Foundation on is the foundation had no formal board of directors. But it didn't need a formal board of directors because it was a 980-PF, which, folks, many people in New York operate a 501c3 with a 980-PF under the same type of fashion as Donald Trump. Are they getting taken to fucking court for a lawsuit because of this? No. There are many nonprofits in New York that are under the same categories and classifications as far as tax purposes are concerned, that have no board of directors, but that are taking monies from private people and dispensing them to charities and nonprofits as they see the need or as they feel. I mean, that's what they're doing in New York. Is the New York Attorney General going to take all of them to court? I doubt it! And not to mention, she's taking the second ground that the AG, the Attorney General of New York, is taking the foundation to court for, because the Donald J. Trump Foundation coordinated with the Trump campaign to get political mileage out of donations. And what do I mean by that? Well, she's trying to claim that it was some kind of a break in New York law because he utilized the Donald J. Trump Foundation as a means to, you all remember the Iowa debates and how Donald Trump wasn't going to attend one of them, and instead he was going to have a rally, and at that rally he was going to raise money for the veterans. You remember that? That was in Iowa. That was in 2016. Well, that is the event in which the New York Attorney General is taking the Trump to court for. She's claiming that the foundation coordinated with the Trump campaign to get political mileage off of donations, which means that this is what she's trying to claim. Trump used nonprofit funds for political gain. Okay? Now, lest we forget, folks, and look, I have looked at every itemized statement of the 2016 funds that were donated. I mean, it was $3 million? Folks, Donald Trump gave that money away to countless different veterans organizations. I have no idea what the hell the Attorney General is doing with this lawsuit. This was nothing more than a hit piece and an attempt to dissuade the news watcher from paying attention to the Inspector General report, which was coming out the same day as this goddamn lawsuit. I mean, they're trying to take Donald Trump to court because he was trying to give money to veterans. And because they found some kind of technicality in which, you don't have a board of formal directors, which is, against the nonprofit 501c3 New York state law or whatever the crap might be. And secondly, she's taking him to court because the foundation supposedly coordinated with the Trump campaign to get political mileage for donations that he was raising for veterans in the Iowa rally in which he skipped the damn debates and had a rally. All that money was given away. I don't know where in the blue hell this New York Attorney General gets off on suing the president, for Christ's sake, man. This is one of the biggest wastes of frivolous lawsuit shit I've ever seen in my life. Politically motivated. And look, I mean, if I were Trump, I'd be tired of this stuff. But thank God this guy is just driven and he's motivated for a higher purpose or by a higher purpose or something, man, because, I mean, good God. Jesus Christ. Anyway, we're now 5 minutes in the third and final hour of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And, of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost. And once again, folks, I want to thank you very much for tuning in with me. Before we get started on anything else, I'd like to ask everybody to please spread this show link around like wildfire, all right? Spread this show link around like wildfire and let everybody know that True Capitalist Radio is in effect and in the house, and we are live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast, and it is ghost.report. It's as simple as that, folks. You type that in your browser right now. Just type it in your browser, ghost.report, and that's the official home of the True Capitalist Radio show, and that's where you can find yours truly broadcasting on a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Now, with that being said, I want to remind everybody, go ahead and follow me on the last bastion of freedom of speech in social media today, and I'm talking about Gab, folks. All right, I'm talking about Gab. You can follow me on there. Get yourself a goddamn account while you're at it, man. What are you doing? Get yourself an account, gab.ai, type that in your browser, and you can follow me on that social media under the name Politics Ghost, all right? All one word, no underscores. Politics Ghost is the name to follow. And if you want to be a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, baby, I'm going to be in the chat room later tonight. All right, so if you want to come chill with us, come kick back with us, all you've got to do is go to my Gab right now at Politics Ghost. All one word, no underscores, Politics Ghost. And once you do, hit the subscribe button for premium content, all right? Hit the subscribe button for premium content. And once you do, private message me on Gab. Private message me on Gab and give me your Discord chat name so I can give you an invitation to the True Capitalist Radio chat room. It's that damn simple. All right? Now that we got that out of the way, we got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about, for Christ's sake. Once again, we were talking about the Nothing Burger, the politically motivated lawsuit against the Donald J. Trump Foundation by the New York Attorney General, Barbara D. Underwood, who took over for the now disgraced Eric Schneiderman, who was accused by 4 different women of physical abuse. We all know now it's a nothing burger, folks, and it's sad that they even took this to court. And I'm glad the president came out and said he's going to fight it, because I think he's going to win it hands down. I think he's going to win it hands down. Now, another thing I want to talk about, folks, is immigration. That's all of a sudden become a big issue. Somehow the Democrats, with their aid by their propagandized media, have made immigration somehow a compassionate issue all of a sudden. Now, I don't know if you saw this exchange yesterday between Sarah Huckabee Sanders, the press secretary, and this asshole Brian Karem, this fat fucking piece of trash who literally lacks journalistic decorum and decided to just yell at Huckabee Sanders about, oh, do you care about the children and the immigrants that are being stripped away from their parents? You've got children, Sarah. I want you to answer the question. I mean, Jesus Christ, man. I mean, you know something, folks? What if that had been a Republican or a right-wing based journalist yelling at a leftist or a Democrat press secretary? You would have had this propagandized media calling this journalist some kind of woman abuser, some kind of lizard, some kind of misogynist. You would have all the media focusing on this fat piece of crap. This Brian Karem, for Christ's sake. Hey, you fat fucking piece of CNN fake news shit. Let me tell you something. You're supposed to be delivering the news, not making your fat self the news. And that's what these leftist journalists are doing nowadays, folks. That's what CNN's doing. That's what MSNBC's doing. They're trying to make themselves the news instead of delivering it. And it makes me sick. That's why we think that you're fake news. As a matter of fact, I think that what Brian Karem did was so disrespectful. Not only should he be thrown out of the damn White House press corps, I think Sarah Huckabee Sanders' fucking husband should go and kick the shit out of him, if you want my opinion. I'm not even joking. I mean, if I was Sarah Huckabee Sanders' husband, I would meet this guy right after he got out of the goddamn White House, stomp a mud hole in his fat jelly ass, kick it dry, take a dirty yellow bubbly piss in it, and all his stupid dumb fake news ass could do is look back at me with a yellow smile about it, boy. Look back at me with a yellow smile about it, for Christ's sake. I'm telling you, Brian Karem, man, I'm telling you, these people are disconnected from society. These people are trying to make themselves the news, for Christ's sake, when they should be delivering it. But, of course, these fucking dumbass leftists, they have no shame. Look at Jim Acosta, another CNN fake news asshole trying to make himself the news that almost sabotaged the damn North Korean summit. I mean, this is stupid, man. I mean, how are these people able to get away with this without somebody in society, you know, just say, look, you can't act this way, and I don't know. I'm tired of these leftists, man. I mean, this is a fucking weaponized, propagandized media, man. Did you all see it? This fat fucking Brian Karem, man, if I was there, I'd stomp his teeth so far down his throat he'd be able to chew his own fat ass. I mean, how dare he talk to goddamn Huckabee Sanders like that, man? But where's the goddamn, where's the uproar, huh? Where are the feminists that are out here? Oh, how dare that man talk to that woman that way? The patriarchy, the patriarchy. Where are they? Do you understand what I'm saying about this double standard? I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired. If you happen to be on the right wing of the political spectrum, you are you're just expected to be treated like a bunch of shit. Expect injustice. Expect being banned on social media. Expect being silenced. But if you're a Democrat, no matter how goddamn vulgar you are, no matter how sick and demented you are, as long as you're on the left, everything is carte blanche. Everything is carte blanche. We have to stop this, man. We have to stop this shit. Anyway, the Democrats have made this immigration a sympathetic issue all of a sudden, okay? I mean, the Democrats have attempted to use this for sympathy to win back the immigration issue. They're claiming that kids are being separated from their parents whenever these immigrants get to the border and then get nabbed by the border security. And you know something? In this whole situation, and look, I guess it's sad, right? Oh, you and your parents, you're being separated because your parents made a decision to commit crime and to go into another country illegally, and, you got to be separated from your parents. Oh, that's sad, whatever, okay? Well, how come I don't ever hear these leftists talk about Mexico? Do you think they'd be better in Mexico, leftists, huh? You think the children would be better in Mexico? Let me tell you something about Mexico, leftists, okay? Did you know that Mexico has no age of consent? No age of consent! A lot of these Mexican parents give away their daughters to 35, 40-year-old men at 11 years old, 12 years old, huh? Yeah. Huh? And yet, you have these leftists and this propagandized media trying to shove it down your throat, trying to make you feel guilty that, look at this, children are being separated from their parents, and that's just so sad. Oh yeah? Would they be better in Mexico where there's no age of sexual consent, you sick, twisted freaks? Huh? Would they be safer in Mexico? I mean, that's what I'm saying, man. I mean, you understand that the policy that is being implemented is the policy that the Democrats created. I mean, listen, why are we even having this much of a debate about immigration, man? I mean, seriously, don't we have problems as American citizens, man? I mean, don't our communities matter? Don't our people matter? I mean, American citizens, real American citizens, need to get up in arms about this shit, man. I mean, it's not just the Democrats. You've got these so-called moderate Republicans that are out here trying to show sympathy to this ridiculousness, too. Even though this is illegal immigration. Illegal immigration. Illegal immigration. I mean, can you as an American sneak into another country and then just demand asylum and that the country will be like, oh, okay, come on in here. You want some entitlements? Oh, you want a license? Come on over. No! Only in America is that shit possible. Only in America is that shit possible. And then they try to make Americans feel bad about it. Like, oh, you're not going to let them in? Oh, look at you. How dare you? Man, fuck you. All right? All you people that are trying to shame people into accepting this immigration situation, fuck you. Okay? Without borders, there is no country. And if we're going to allow people into this country, because I'm not against immigration, but you've got to come in here legally. Do you understand? You've got to come in here legally. When are we going to have American people get so pissed off that our politicians in Washington think that fucking illegal immigrants supersede the importance of average, everyday, law-abiding American citizens? I mean, when are American people going to realize that, wait a minute, hold on, hey, Democrats, moderate Republicans, shut your ass! What about us American citizens? You know, the ones that have lineages to world wars and civil wars. Those of us that have been here for 5, 4, 3, 2 generations. What about the American citizens, man? I mean, give me a fucking break, folks. I mean, especially you Democrats. You notice that Democrats, the only time they'll get uppity, the only time that they'll come out and do all this dramatic political rigmarole is either if you're an illegal alien or a criminal. Those are the only two groups that the Democrats actually come out for, is if you're an illegal immigrant or a criminal. I mean, take a look at what Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats did today. We're going to go to the border. We're going to go to the border. Oh, yeah? Great. All you're doing is trying to utilize a bunch of impoverished, have nothing, a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of, you have nothing immigrants, using them as sympathy for your political gain, man. If you leftists really cared about these children, how come you're not housing them? How come you're not bringing them in your home? How come you're not out there at these detention centers giving your time, effort, and energy if you are so-called so sympathetic to these children? You know, it's really easy for leftists to get on a soapbox and start yelling. Oh, you don't care about the children? Look at, hey everybody, look, he doesn't care about the children, look! What a bastard, right? What a bastard! That's what these fucking leftists do. It's real easy to get on a soapbox when you don't have to do shit. And that's what most of these leftists are. They're all a bunch of soapbox standing, virtue signaling nothing burgers. Because the most loudest virtue signaler is the last person that will give up their own time, effort, and energy to help someone else. Unless there's a camera around, unless it can be documented. I'm just so sick. I'm so sick. And, you know, you got the House Republicans scrambling to create a new immigration policy out here. And, you know, from what I understand, the House Republicans, some of these so-called moderates actually want to give amnesty to some of these pieces of shit. I mean, why are we even talking about amnesty? Why are we even discussing this? These people came to our country illegally. Americans cannot do the same. Do you Americans understand? We can't sneak into Mexico and demand what the Mexicans sneaking into this country are demanding from us. Do you understand that? We can't sneak into Canada and demand that Canada do for us what we're doing for these fucking immigrants. We can't go to any country and do this. How come they can do it to us? How come they can do it to us? It doesn't make fucking sense. Wake the fuck up, America. It doesn't make sense. How come they can do this to us, man? How come we always have to have the open border, for fuck's sake, man? Jesus Christ, give me my freaking beer. I'm just so tired of this immigration issue, folks. I'm just so tired of it, man. Folks, just because I'm tired of this immigration issue doesn't mean I'm a racist. I'm a melting pot of friendship, folks. And if you're an American, I don't care what race you are. I mean, if you're an American and love this country and love the Constitution and would die for the Constitution, die for this country, I don't care what your race is. The problem I have is the group of immigrants that these people in Washington want to give amnesties to don't love this country. They don't even like this country. They've got more loyalty to their pissing ground of a country that they fucking left than the one that's given them fucking supposed refuge. What sense does that make? Good God, America, fucking wake up! There is no sympathy to this crap. It's illegal. It's illegal for a reason. I mean, what these illegal immigrants are doing right now at the borders is the same thing Hamas does at Gaza Strip with the fucking Jews, for Christ's sake. What do the Hamas do? What does the Hamas do in Palestine? They put the women and children first and make sure they're shot, make sure they're wounded, so that they can show it on television and say, you see, this is what Israel is doing to us, Israel, and all that shit, man. That's what these immigrants are doing at the border. That's what they're doing at the border, for Christ's sake, man. They're using their children as a means of gaining sympathy so that they can get citizenship, man. And if we do it this time, they're going to keep doing it, and they're going to do it again and again and again and again. And we got to stop this crap. We have to stop this shit, man. But for whatever reason, you know, we've got House Republicans wanting to give goddamn amnesty to these illegal immigrants, man, and I just can't believe that American people are just like, yeah, you know what, it's the right thing to do, you know, give illegal immigrants like all kinds of like amnesty and all that. yeah, and you know what, I'm glad that the president said this morning that he's not budging from his stance from immigration. You know, and if you're going to bring something to the table, you better have the wall funded. You better have the fucking immigration lottery system out. You better have chain migration limited to spouses and children, and that's it. You try to pull any more of this off, the president said he's not going to stand by it. He's not hooking it up. Anyway, folks, let me move on, folks. All right, let's talk a little bit about some international news here. Did you all hear about the Turkish elections that are going to happen June 24th? The June 24th elections could potentially throw Erdogan, our good friend President Erdogan from Turkey, may throw him out of power. Now, lest we forget, folks, we remember the July 2016 fake coup that we were on the air when it happened. As a matter of fact, I did a broadcast that Sunday. We talked about how Erdogan conducted that fake coup on himself, July 2016, in order to solidify his base and to expose any enemies within his domestic home front and jail them, purge them, etc. And then, of course, he tried to utilize that fake coup to make himself look like some big Muslim badass in the Muslim world. And ever since that coup, folks, Erdogan has tried to somewhat galvanize the Islamic world with a lot of agitative type rhetoric. You know, many times, even especially here recently, he's called on the Islamic world to make Israel pay for the Palestinian situation, and that the Islamic world needs to get together. I mean, calling the Islamic world to unify, and I don't think Islam is listening to him. And the reason Islam is not listening to him is because Erdogan, let's be honest, Erdogan, you're not, you know, some pious, you know, turban-wearing jihadi, who is, you know, at least deemed selfless amongst these fucking Arabs and these Muslims. And that's why nobody cares about Erdogan and his rise and how he wants to bring back the Ottoman Empire and all this crap, because he's not, you know, he's not doing anything for the modern Muslim out here. When they see him in the suit, he wears a suit, yet he's trying to be Islamic fundamentalist. When they see him in that suit, they don't see an Islamic jihadi. You know, they don't see some jihadist. They see some, you know, politician, some, you know, secularists. I mean, that's why, even though he was a CIA operative, bin Laden, that's why Osama bin Laden was so effective in galvanizing the jihadis via propaganda and media, because the story of bin Laden was the fact that he was born into millions of dollars and decided that he wasn't going to be a glutton and became a fundamentalist jihadi and went to Afghanistan and utilized his millions to help the Mujahideen in Afghanistan overtake the Russians. And I mean, you know, he's got this romantic story about himself, and these jihadis, they look to somebody like a bin Laden or his second in command, which is, I think, still alive, Zawahiri. Lest we forget Zawahiri, the old man that's the second in command next to bin Laden. Zawahiri was one of the guys that helped assassinate the Egyptian president Omar Sadat. And he was in prison for like 10 years for that, tortured, all kinds of stuff, and came out and became even a harder jihadi than he was than before he went in. And these guys' stories, they highlight why jihadis become jihadis. They become jihadis because, I hate to say this, but they're infatuated with death. And they're infatuated with those that, put themselves close to death, that survive death, that are selfless, that are pious. And that's why Erdogan, even though he tried to position himself as a potential leader of the Islamic world, no one's listening. I mean, many times here within the past couple of months, he's been calling for the Islamic world to kill Israel, and the Islamic world come together to, protect Palestine, and nobody's listening. Nobody cares. Nobody's listening to you, Erdogan, because you're a joke. How can you be Islamic fundamentalist and yet you're wearing a fucking suit? Just saying, man. I mean, shouldn't you be wearing the traditional, toga or, what are the rags on your head or whatever the hell you guys do? I mean, isn't that what you're supposed to do to show that you're pious? Anyway, the reason I'm bringing up Erdogan, Turkey's president, is that he may lose power in the June 24th elections. Now, the pro-Kurdish party, the Kurdish People's Democratic Party, is trying to meet the 10% threshold of Turkish parliament so it could potentially jeopardize Erdogan's chances of a majority. So even though he may not necessarily, even though he may try to rig these elections, which he is trying to, by the way, I'm going to talk about that here in a second. I mean, the pro-Kurdish People's Democratic Party, the HDP, I mean, they're pretty close to that 10% threshold. And if they get 10% of the parliament in Turkey, that's it for Erdogan. And that's it for the Ottoman Empire ambitions. And you know what? Rightfully so, folks, because Turkey, prior to Erdogan's reign, was like a quasi-Islamic secularist type of country. I like to put a word on it. It was like an Islamocracy. It was like an Islamocracy. You had a lot of fundamentalists in there, but still, were malleable when it came to the social liberalism of secularism and democratic ideas, etc. So it was like an Islamocracy out there. And then when Erdogan came along, he decided that he wanted to make it more Islamic fundamentalist. And I don't think the country's buying that shit. They don't really like that garbage, man. And Erdogan knows that he's in trouble politically. I mean, especially with the pro-Kurdish People's Democratic Party. They almost have that 10% threshold. So Erdogan has been trying to do whatever it takes to intimidate the Kurdish population. Now, a video was leaked here recently purported to be President Erdogan advocating the intimidation of Kurds. In the video, he tells his government officials to focus on the HDP, which is the pro-Kurdish People's Democratic Party. And he also tells the officials that if the AKP, which is his party, arrive early to the polls before the rest of the parties, then it'll be over before it's began. So he's already trying to rig this election through intimidation, through coercion, through violence. And as a matter of fact, the Kurdish aren't taking it lightly, folks. Once this video was leaked and circulated around the country of Turkey, you had actual violence arise on the on the Kurdish side against pro-AKP type of political activists. 4 people were dead today because of the political violence that is ensuing because Erdogan may or may not have power after June 24th. So this is something to keep an eye on, folks. I mean, if Erdogan is unelected, then Turkey may go back to the way it was, and it'll be a little less Islamic fundamentalist. We may go back to like an Islamocracy type of a situation, etc. So keep your eye on the ball there. This is going to be a very interesting election. And look, I'm not, most of the Kurds in Turkey are left. They're communist. But I would like to see Erdogan out. I would like to see him out of power. He has done nothing but thrown Turkey backwards 20, 30 years. He's thrown the economy into shit. I mean, did you hear that Erdogan wants to take over the central bank? I mean, he's all over the place. He's gone loco. So keep your eye on the June 24th elections in Turkey, man, because that's going to be very, very interesting. Now, another person clinging on to power, none other than Chancellor Angela Merkel. Angela Merkel is she's on the ropes right now for power. And she's willing to go down with her goddamn refugee project, folks. I'm telling you this right now. This is what this is all coming down to. Right now, Angela Merkel, the Chancellor of Germany, she refuses to endorse a plan to turn back some refugees at the German border, which was suggested by the Bavarian Interior Minister. She refuses to go back on her goddamn refugee stance, man, her project. I mean, lest we forget, this whole goddamn refugee situation was her goddamn project, man, and it was an utter failure. I mean, just take a look at the way Germany is turning into. Take a look at Sweden. Take a look at France. I mean, if you have not done so, YouTube Paris 2018 and take a look at how much of a scumhole, how much of a refugee, homeless city Paris has turned out to be, for heaven's sake. I mean, good God, man. Let me take a swig of this beer. Now that Angela Merkel is on the ropes because she refuses to endorse a plan to turn back some refugees at the German border, which is suggested by the Bavarian Interior, this threatens Germany's Grand Coalition and the conservative bloc, which has been a bedrock of the political establishment for decades, man. So, I mean, looks like Angela Merkel might be on her way out unless she compromises on her stance on immigration, on her stance on refugees. You know what I'm saying? I mean, have y'all seen Germany as of late, man? I had an Inner Circle member stay there for a few weeks, and he says it's a completely different country, for Christ's sake, man. I mean, you go to the parks out there in Germany, they have designated areas for these migrants to take dumps, you know, just right there, drop their drawers, take a squat, take a turd. They've got designated areas for this crap. There's kebab shops all over the fucking place. I'm not even done. There's another kebab shop. Jesus Christ, I need a beer after that. Give me a free... More beer! And not to mention, folks, I mean, all this tariff talk, all this stuff, man, I'm going to try to drink as many German beers as I possibly can. Because I don't know how long we have left with these, before these tariffs either start taking out German beers or making them so goddamn expensive. It's like, man, do I really want to pay that much for some damn German beer? Do I really want to pay that goddamn much? I don't think so, man. I don't think so. Anyway, let me go ahead and pour this beer here. All right. Once again, folks, Angela Merkel is on the ropes and is willing to go down with her refugee project. The Bavarian Interior Minister is suggesting to her that we need to turn away some refugees, not all of them, just some of them, at the German border. She refuses. She completely refuses. So, especially to all you Germans out there, what does that say about Angela Merkel and her loyalty to Germany? I mean, if you have no loyalty for the country that you're leading, then what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Then what the hell are you doing exactly? Jesus Christ, folks. Anyway, look, that's all I've got to talk about today, all right? What I'm going to do now, since it's a Baller Friday, we got about 25 minutes left, I will take your questions. This is Questions for Ghost Hour, or half hour, I should say. All you have to do, if you're in the True Capitalist Radio chat room, go ahead and post some questions if you want to ask Ghost a question of any kind, or if you are on Gab. Gab your questions to me. This is a Baller Friday Ghost Question Edition. You know how it is. And go ahead and post your questions up there. Let me go ahead and take a swig of this beer. It's time to start doing some freaking drinking, man. It's Baller Friday! And not to mention, isn't Sunday Father's Day? Huh? It's the day Daddy gets disappointed. What did I get? What did I get? A fucking tie! A fucking tie! Jesus Christ. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Good stuff here. Let me see. I'm already done with the production notes. I'm done with this crap. Anyway, let's continue going here. Nobody have any questions? I got like 500-600 people listening in right now. Nobody has any questions? Jesus Christ. Well, maybe I should end it here for Christ's sake, since everybody's out there waxing their carrot on this Baller Friday, for heaven's sake. I mean, good God. Or you know what? Let's take a look at Drudge. Let's take a look at Drudge here, since everybody's waxing their carrot and doing whatever they're doing. All right. All right. Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. Have I ever looked in the uranium sector of the stock market? Looks like it's bottomed out. I think it's a possibility it's bottomed out, but we would have to make sure that we would be building other nuclear power plants to be able to justify any kind of increases in the uranium sector. The uranium sector is pretty limited to the already existing nuclear plants, and in my opinion, I think we need to build a couple more of them. We need to build a couple more of them. I mean, it supplies great electricity to cities. Now, granted, I mean, I understand that they could be kind of dangerous, but how else are we going to suffice this demand for energy? I mean, we've got everything that requires energy. You got computers, you got laptops, you got phones, you got everything. Now they're trying to force you to plug in your car now. You have to have an electric car now. Yeah, they're trying to plug in your car. I mean, where are we going to get this demand? Where are we going to get this fucking demand? I have no idea. That's why I'm suggesting, why not, a little bit of nuclear, With a little bit of nuclear. Anyway, when you keep referring to natural rights, do you believe in the one true Lord Jesus Christ? You keep using the Lord's name in vain, you sinner. No, I don't think Jesus was somebody who judged anybody. I mean, if you take a look at Jesus Christ, man, I mean, the guy was hanging around hookers. He was hanging around the poor. He was hanging around the folks that were not the most desirable within the region he lived in, and he was a non-judgmental person. And even though, there was a lot of what would be deemed at the time undesirables following Jesus, Jesus wasn't giving them anything. He was teaching them. Jesus wasn't giving people fish. He was teaching them how to fish. Things of that capacity. And just I have to ask this once again. How come Jesus is so persecuted? I mean, if he's so insignificant, like the atheists claim, like the Satanists claim, like the Jews claim, like the Muslims claim, how come he is so persecuted? How come when you say, I'm down with Jesus, how come you're just such a bad person? I mean, what did Jesus do that was so bad that makes all these other religions want to persecute his followers? I mean, all he did was teach. All he wanted to do was heal. All he wanted to do was show people the way to take care of themselves. And what, he's being prosecuted? He's being persecuted? His followers are being persecuted? I mean, give me a freaking break. Hey, we've got somebody named Great Show today, mate. Not a question, but a compliment to you for draining the autistic swamp, and shout-outs to the mods and BN Kings for turning the chat tardless. Oh, man. Well, that's cool. And listen, man, it had to be done. We have to take fucking politics serious. We have to take these things serious. Because if you don't, then people that you don't want to take serious will take it serious, and before you know it, you're living in a society that you don't want to live in. That's why you got to take it serious. You know what I'm saying? Let me see here. Which crypto would you recommend to hold that requires the least amount of maintenance in terms of paying attention to market movements? Any of them, man. Just hold them and just what did I always say? Long-term investment reigns supreme. Long-term investment reigns supreme. It's as simple as that, you know? If America stops printing money, how would that affect the market as well as the cryptocurrency market? It's already happened. They have already stopped printing money. That's why they're raising interest rates now. They're raising interest rates to recall all the money they had printed out since the year 2000, since Alan Greenspan was the fucking Federal Reserve chairman. And that's why you're seeing a lot of things go down in value, because the damn value of the dollar is very, very high. So that's why you're seeing it, man. How to convince an old-timer that cryptocurrency is good money? Well, I don't think so, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, you just have to let them understand that even though there's money, there's fiat currency out here. If you Google up how much money there is in the world, Google will give you a CIA statistic that there's an estimate of 75 trillion fiat currency in circulation. $75 trillion in fiat currency in circulation in the world. But just because there's 75 trillion in fiat currency, there's still a demand for money. You know, there's still a demand for money. What do I mean? That means that even though there's 75 trillion in circulation, that's still not enough to suffice the 7.4 billion people on the earth. So cryptocurrency meets that demand for money. And I've used the Zimbabwe example many times. I mean, Zimbabwe overprinted its money to where it was literally worthless. So the Zimbabwe farmers were forced to look for another alternative to exchange their agrarian commodities. And the first thing that came up and the first thing they used as a means of exchangeable goods and services was cryptocurrency, man. Cryptocurrency allowed the Zimbabwe farmers not to have famine, not to just let their goddamn crops and all their agrarian commodities just wither and die. So, you know, that's why I think that cryptocurrency is we're at the beginning point, man. We haven't even scratched the surface as it pertains to the cryptocurrency potential. You know? Anyway, great show. Glad you're covering what matters in this world, money, the markets, and getting more people to pull themselves up by their bootstraps. Hey, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Hey, thanks for getting rid of all the garbage of shout-outs and radio graffiti. Just have one question. Knowing everything you do now, what America ultimately became, do you think we were the right in siding with the Soviets against the Nazis? Or did we defeat the wrong enemy? Man, listen, man, I don't know how to answer that, all right? I mean, that's the past. That's history. I mean, we could analyze what the actors of history did wrong, things of that capacity, but either way, I mean, I'm not down with communism or socialism, man. And that's what Russia was a communist and Nazi Germany was National Socialism. I don't believe in any of that shit. I'm a capitalist, man. I believe that the means of production should remain. They should remain in private hands. There should be no centralization of power. What happens when you centralize power? The individual, every individual in that geopolitical area relinquishes their freedom of choice, their freedom of decision making, their economic freedom. They relinquish it all and give it to the state. I mean, that's what socialism and communism is. There is no individuality. There is nothing. You are a subject to the state. And I'm not down with that shit at all, man. I'm not down with that garbage. At all. Fuck communism and fuck socialism, man. Jesus Christ. Anyway, hey, Ghost, when the show will be finally tard-free, can we expect us, the serious listeners, to get some audience interaction back? Yes. Yes, but we got to wait for a little bit because these tards are still waiting. They're like, no, it's going to happen one day. Ghost's going to bring it back. He's going to bring it back. He's going to do it. They still think I'm going to bring it back. I'm not going to bring it back, man, all right? And I'm not going to bring it back. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Hey, what's your opinion on Quebec seceding from Canada and the referendum from the mid-90s? Do you think Liberal Canadian government under Jean Chrétien was responsible for preventing... I don't give a shit about Canadian history. I mean, you fucking Canadians are pissed off because of, we want to throw some tariffs on some fucking aluminum and some damn steel, for Christ's sake. You fucking people in Canada are like, oh, you know what, eh? Well, we're going to go and we're going to stop going to USA to go visit, eh? We're not going to buy any more U.S. products, eh? That's what we're going to do. I heard Justin Trudeau, eh? Justin Trudeau said the Americans don't care about us, eh? So we got to boycott, eh? Well, you know what? Boycott, Canada! Boycott! You Canadian bacon, moose humping, maple leaf up the ass having Canucks! Boycott! You think I give a shit? Freaking Canucks, man. I'm going to be honest with you, man. I've never been a fan of Canada. I mean, look, I know I have people listening from Canada. I get it. And I thank you guys. You guys are capitalists and shit. But I just don't like Canada. Canada has been a pimple on the ass of America. I mean, they have always shit-talked America. I mean, do y'all remember right after 9/11? I mean, there was a hockey game that happened in one of the fucking cities in Canada. And the hockey game had an American team. And when the American national anthem came on, this was right after 9/11, folks, I swear to God. These Canadians booed the American national anthem right after 9/11. And I will never forget that. Never. So do you think I give a fucking rat's ass about a fucking snow asshole Canadian bacon butt loving fucking history? No, I don't. Jesus Christ. Somebody's asking me, when will all the autists leave for good? I mean, who the hell knows? Who the hell knows? Do you think Duarte, I think this is I think you're referring to the Filipino head of state. Do you think Duarte giving away 42,000 guns away for free is a good or bad idea? Man, well, I think that when the government gives anything away, it's a bad idea, especially guns. How the fuck is the government going to know who to give guns to and who not to? You know what I mean? I mean, seriously, who the hell is going to make that judgment call? Some government bureaucrat? That's why I'd prefer guns to be purchased, off the private sector, private hands. You purchase it, etc. You got it. I'm not some government bureaucracy saying, you know what, you deserve a gun. I think it's a bad idea. I think anytime the government gives away anything, it's a bad idea. It's a bad idea. Anyway, let's continue going. We're taking questions here for the next 10 minutes. We got another question out of the chat room. When Trudeau gets booted out of the Prime Minister by Scheer, will that make Canada and America conjunctively great again? I hope so, man, but I want to be honest with you. I never have known Canada to be like a very friendly neighbor. I mean, you guys have always shit-talked us. You've always talked garbage about us. You've always said that we were some, bad people, that we're bad Americans and all this other shit. I mean, give me a break. Hey, here's another one. What do you think will happen when all these autist parents die and can no longer get by? EBT, SSI? If you want my opinion, I think that we should bring back the insane asylums and put them in there and let them live the remainder of their days in an insane asylum. I'm not even kidding around, man. I mean, and you know what, you autists, you know what you can do to stop being an autist? Stop saying you're autistic! Stop saying you're Asperger's! Just stop it! I mean, stop it, man. You know that you were diagnosed by some pseudoscientist with that. You know what I mean? I mean, it's a fictitious bunch of shit. All you have to do is say, you know what, I'm not autistic anymore. I'm not even going to acknowledge it. I'm not going to say anything about it. I'm me. I'm doing me. I'm doing me. That's what you should be worried about, for heaven's sake, man. Jesus Christ. And hey, somebody in the chat room, thank you very much for finding the goddamn, the clip in which, it was the Toronto Maple Leafs game in which, I mean, I'm just telling you, man, right after 9/11, they booed the national anthem, man. These fucking Canadians, man. Jesus Christ. I'm not joking, man. I'll never forget that from you Canadians, man. I'll never forget it. Never. Ever. Nice beer. Good drinking beer. All right. Since you've been on the internet for a long time, have you ever been genomed? What the fuck does that mean? Have I ever been genomed? What the fuck does that mean? You mean you're like what? Like no, whatever it is. No, probably not. Okay. I have to agree with the insane asylum. This is what we should have euthanasia for. He's talking about the autist, you know. I mean, look, man. Listen. You autists have proven that you people are a burden, not only to your parents but to society, man. I mean, y'all have heard all these autists, folks. I mean, you heard the one on the last broadcast at the beginning. I mean, y'all remember that freaking Flamo? I mean, hey, you know, Gus, you know, son, you're out there, you're planning school shootings. You remember that? You're planning school shootings. You're using a chaplain that's planning school shootings. And I want to tell everybody. I mean, this is what I've had to put up with, man. I've had to put up. I mean, it's just I'm done. I'm done with these autists, man. I'm serious. I'm done with them, man. That's why I'm not going to bring back Raider Graffiti. I'm not bringing back shout-outs, man. I mean, it's because of you autist tards. Go away. All right? Nobody likes you around these parts. Do you get it? All right, autists? No one likes you. No one likes when you're talking about all your nice stories about incontinence. No one likes it. Do you understand that? Anyway, man, sorry. I'm sorry. It has to be said. I mean, it has to be said, man. I'm sorry. I'm so sick of autism, man. I'm so goddamn sick of autism. I mean, you people are a waste of life. And you know what's so funny about it? It's all you autists that like wrote like you wrote Gumroad and like, hey, you know, he's making fun of gays and he's making fun of me and got me banned from that. And you know, you wrote Blog Talk, right? He's making fun of autists and they took down some of my shows. Let me tell you something. You autists can't do shit anymore, okay? You can't do shit, so you're just going to have to sit there and take the fact that yours truly, me, I personally believe that you people are wastes of life, and there's nothing you can say about it, all right? There's nothing you can do or say about it there, okay, boy? I mean, you can be so pissed that I can't believe you keep saying that about autism. Can people be cured from autism? Yeah. They just have to be like, look, I'm not autistic. I'm just fucking slow. I'm fucking slow, and I have to think a little bit more intently. I've got to be more consciously aware. I've got to be more focused, and I'm a little slow. Okay? I mean, listen, I know that stupid broad that I was talking about earlier in the broadcast about her, that Nazi feminist broad. I know you autists think that because you have autism, you have a high IQ. That's what these fucking people are just telling you. They're telling you you have an IQ. If you actually had a high IQ, wouldn't you be doing something for yourself? Wouldn't you be creating businesses or inventing something or doing something worth a shit instead of just waxing your carrot to cartoons and playing video games, you know? I mean, I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. Somebody's asking me in the chat room, do you buy Lindsey Graham's sudden support for POTUS? He's a politician, man. He's not stupid. He knows he's going to have to run for re-election, and he knows a lot of people in the South love Trump, and you know that's why he's changing his tune, baby. I mean, he's a politician. That's the way it is. They'll do whatever it takes just to continue to sustain power, and that's what Lindsey Graham's doing. And not to mention, I mean, Lindsey Graham. I mean, you know, he's a sleazeball. I mean, he's a politician. I mean, these are politicians. These are guys that will talk shit to your face in front of the public in a debate. And then after the debate in the back in the green room when you're drinking and shit, he's like, hey, so That was a good debate, man. You did pretty good out there. And like he's your friend or something. This is how politicians are, man. I mean, politicians are sick fucking bureaucrats, man. Sick fucking bureaucrats. I'm just saying, man. Anyway, I'm gonna take a couple of more questions, and then I'm gonna get the hell out of here on this Baller Friday. I think it's about time to, not only continue drinking. Let me go ahead and continue drinking. Not only am I going to continue drinking, I think I'm going to go, some chicken wing joint and get some chicken wings, man. Oh, man, there's nothing better. Look, I have, like, ulcers and acid reflux and all kinds of stomach problems and shit. Obviously, because I drink a lot and I'm kind of an angry person, etc. But there's some weird feeling that happens when you take some hot-ass fucking chicken wings, you throw them down the gullet, throw some beer down there, and I don't know, I could feel like the fucking bubbling and the churning of all the goddamn ingredients. And I don't know, it's kind of a good feel. It's kind of a weird feeling, man. So I think I'm gonna go get some chicken wings. I'm gonna get some chicken fucking wings. I said chicken wings. I'm sorry, folks. It's Baller Friday, man. We already went through all the serious stuff. It's time to let loose. It's time to let loose. All right. Let me get one more beer here. When do you think McCain will croak? I thought he would have croaked months ago. Isn't this guy supposed to be having brain cancer, for heaven's sake? What the hell? I thought he was supposed to die months ago. I don't get it. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. Anyway, let me take a chug of this beer, and let me open up one more beer, and then we're going to end this broadcast, baby. We're going to end this Baller Friday broadcast. Good stuff. Anyway, let's go ahead and get more beer! More beer! You're damn right, baby. You're damn right. Oh, man, there he... Oh, woo, yeah. Fucking drinking beers over here, for Christ's sake, man. I gotta blow my honker again, because, I don't know... Hold on. That's another reason why I got to get some chicken wings, man. Clear out the sinuses, boy. Get that real hot chicken wing and clear out the sinuses there, boy. Damn right. All right, who else? We're going to take a couple more questions, and we're getting the hell out of here, all right? We're getting the hell out of here. What do we have here? We've got, somebody's telling me to eat 50 wings. I don't do that anymore, man. I used to do that back when I was... well, I don't know. Maybe I'll eat 40. Maybe not 50. I'm a man. You understand? I'm a big fucking man. I'm 6'2". You know what I mean? I'm filled with piss and fury. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God, man. Anyway, look. Looks like nobody has. Is anybody have any other questions? Is that it? Somebody's asking me whatever happened to 7-Leaf Brony. What the fuck? That was like 2011. Who gives a shit what happened to that fucking brat? As far as I know, supposedly he stopped being a brony and became a fucking drug addict or something. You know what I mean? Heard he was abusing women that he meets over the internet or some shit like that. That's what I heard. I don't know. Why are you asking me about him? Who gives a shit? Hopefully he's fucking OD'd somewhere in a puddle of his own blood and piss and behind a dumpster. Hopefully somebody finds him and rapes him in the ass. I don't give a shit. Why are you even asking me about that crap? Give me a frickin' break. With how the North Korean summit turned out, how will we see the country going forward in the next decade, politically and economically? I think that we're going to see incremental development happening in the Korean Peninsula. I think the North Koreans are going to slowly, incrementally introduce the North Korean people into prosperity, to say the least. So, in my personal view, I think that, this is not going to be a quick transition. Remember, this is kind of a hermit kingdom, And this hermit kingdom is not going to just be transitioned into some kind of capitalist country overnight. I mean, whatever that has to be done, it has to be done on an incremental basis, for Christ's sake, man. You know what I mean? Anyway, let me continue going. Do I think aliens exist? Fuck no. No, I don't. I don't think aliens exist, for Christ's sake. Good God. I'm not even kidding. I don't think... Yeah, Jesus Christ. Aliens. You know, some of you people, not only do you think aliens exist, some of you people think they're fucking living and working here or something. You know, some of you people think that they shapeshift and shit. I mean, give me a break. What else do we got here, man? I'm going to take one more question, then I'm getting the hell out of here. It's already 9:31 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm taking one more question. Make it fucking good, please. Don't make it like some homosexual stuff, all right? Make it good, all right? Make it good. All right, you're listening to the True Capitalist Radio broadcast once again, episode number 580. This is June 15, 2018. Let's continue going. Who else do we got? Any other questions? Do you think Canada will go through with the tariff on the United States? If they do, bring it on. Bring it the fuck on. Are you kidding me? I mean, it's no skin off our sack. You know? It's no skin off our sack, for Christ's sake. Anyway, that's about enough, all right? Let's go ahead. Got all these fucking production notes. Let's go ahead and end the show here. Now, I may be, I'm going to be having a decent weekend. I'm going to be back on Monday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Now, look, folks, even though we are, I'm not really making money off this broadcast and stuff, I would like to just mention that there is a cryptocurrency wishing well. If you want to just, you know, you're appreciative. I mean, and the reason I'm saying this is this, okay? The reason I'm promoting the cryptocurrency wishing well is because take a look at what happened to Gab in its Coinbase account. Take a look at what happened to me in my Gumroad account. I mean, they are trying to stop us from being able to create content that's against the leftist narrative, that's against the leftist political philosophy, and they're trying to make it difficult for us to do so. So I'm telling you guys that there is a cryptocurrency wishing well on the Ghost.report website. Anything that you throw in there will be very much appreciative, and moreover, it'll aid in yours truly potentially not just coming on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'd like to come back every day. That's what I'd like to do. I'd like to come back every fucking day, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And because, you know, these corporate entities are trying to make it very, very hard for content creators that are right-wing, that are capitalist like myself, from actually maintaining some kind of sustenance while doing this broadcast, it makes it very difficult. Now, I have no problem doing this broadcast without making cash or without making any kind of capital or anything of that nature, because I am going to be dedicating nothing but economic and political and other type of social commentary on this broadcast. No more Twitter shout-outs or Gab shout-outs or any of that Radio Graffiti crap. So what you are going to witness and what you're going to listen to every day on here is what you heard today, what you heard yesterday. This is not a show that you're going to be ashamed of, you know, kind of suggesting to your friends, suggesting to your neighbors, suggesting to your mommy, your daddy, etc. If you would just, you know, potentially take a look at the cryptocurrency wishing well, and at the same time, folks, if I happen to like put out a couple of things for merch or something, consider them as well. Remember, I'm not making a whole bunch of cash on here, but everything that you contribute to the True Capitalist Radio broadcast inspires the True Capitalist Radio broadcast to expand. And I want to go back to 5 days a week again, man. I want to go back to 5 days a week and provide, you know, the straight political dope, the straight commentary. And we'll see if we can make that happen, man. If not, I love what I'm doing now. I don't need to get paid money to do what I'm doing. But I know that if I continue to do what I'm doing and take it serious and not be a part of this entertainment for tards anymore, I think that the potential of this show being put into a more mainstream type of a media situation is that much higher. I mean, take a look at all the mergers that have happened in the media, folks. AT&T bought out Time Warner for $85 million. You've got Comcast bidding $85 billion for the AT&T and Time Warner merger. $85 billion. Comcast offering $65 billion for Fox Studios, excluding their news channels. Now, why are they buying all this, folks? Why are they doing all these major billions of dollars of purchasing? For content. Content is king, folks, and that's another reason why I took a step in the direction of legitimacy, because I think that the content that's provided outside of the Twitter gab shout-outs and the radio graffiti offers a lot more to people than the bullshit that we were doing previous. And all of you guys that have been listening to me, I just wanted to tell you that I really do appreciate the fact that you guys are sticking by the broadcast, even though we're not acting like a severe case of mental retardation. And look, don't get me wrong, the old days were fun, man. Remember the old radio graffitis, the old Twitter shout-outs? They were fun. This was before before autists. I mean, y'all remember that? 2010, 2011, man. I mean, before autists, everything was great. Everything was fun. Remember? And then these autists come in, and then they just fuck it up for everybody. They fuck everything up for everybody, for Christ's sake, man. So, thank you guys very much for listening to the broadcast, man. And regardless, if you can contribute to the cryptocurrency, wish and will. If you can't, if you can buy the merch, if you can't, regardless, man, I'm still going to do this Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. It's not about the money, and I just want you all to know, man, that it's about bringing real content, real news, real commentary to those that are seeking it, man. Anyway, I love you guys. Believe it or not, and I say that genuinely now, not figuratively. I say it genuinely, because now I know anybody who's listening is listening for the economic and financial content and the straight political dope. I love you guys, man. Thank you guys for chilling with me on this Baller Friday. Thanks to the True Capitalist Radio chat room. Thank you very much to the Capitalist Army and, of course, the Inner Circle, baby. That goes without saying. Thank you, guys. You're the reason why I continue to come on the internet. You're the reason why I continue to broadcast. And as long as I have you guys, I don't need anybody else, man. I don't need some big fucking, badass fucking audience. I don't need. I just need you guys, man. And as long as you guys are by my side and are true capitalists and are making yourselves better, making yourselves richer, making yourselves better people, that's all it's about, man. That makes my life worthwhile. I know that sounds silly, but that's what makes my life worthwhile. If you guys are a success, then I'm successful. I mean, don't you understand that? Even though by the time you guys are successful, I might not even be alive on this earth. I can still look down upon this earth and say, man, you see that? I aided in that, man. I helped people to become capitalists. And the more capitalists that are on this earth, the better this earth will be. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, man. I'm dedicated to a higher purpose. I'm dedicated to a higher purpose, man, just like the president is. So anyway, man, thank you guys very much for listening in. Thank you guys in the True Capitalist Radio chat room for subscribing, and thank you guys in the Inner Circle. Thank everybody for listening to me. I'm getting the hell out of here. Long live the capitalist army, and death to feminism, death to socialism, and death to communism, baby! I will be back Monday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on the official website of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast, and it is ghost.report, all right? Type that in your browser, add it to your bookmarks, add it to your favorites, ghost.report. And by the way, if you have not done so, we've got a couple of new people that are going to be added to the True Capitalist Radio chat room. If you want to be a part of the True Capitalist Radio chat room, once again, go to my Gab account. Go to my Gab account at Politics Ghost, all one word, no underscores, Politics Ghost, and hit the subscribe button for premium content, all right? Hit the subscribe button for premium content, and once you do, go ahead and private message me on Gab, and I will give you a private invitation to the True Capitalist Radio chat room. You just have to give me your Discord chat name. It's as simple as that, baby, all right? It's as simple as that. Anyway, thank you, guys. I will be back Monday. Have a great weekend. And if you have a father, wish him a happy Father's Day, all right? I mean, if you have a father, tell him, hey, Dad, thanks a lot, man. Thanks for being a man. And if your father's a prick, well, then spit in his face, all right? Anyway, I'm out of here, baby. Long live the capitalist army. I'm out, baby.